So, quick question. I've been dating a lovely young man for about 9 months, and we had a random conversation that came up about retirement savings. I'm a big saver, so I'm really into, I have 401k and a Roth IRA. And his response was that all that matters is working and making money now, and that 401ks are a scam. And I just want to know what the best way to approach this conversation is to try to help him maybe understand the importance of saving for retirement.
Did you ask him why he thinks they're a scam? Was there any kind of follow-up on that particular classification of it?
Not necessarily. He is he moved here from Albania 6 years ago, and he just became a citizen this year. And
how old is he?
He's 32, and I'm 30.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, what he's saying is, I don't know why he thinks 401ks in particular are a scam, but what he's saying is that I came from an area where we are living hand to mouth, and thinking about the future is not something I want to do. I want to just enjoy the moment because the situation I grew up in, there might not be a next moment for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm guessing. Okay, I'm gonna try to give him a break here, because what he's saying is basically he's saying I'm immature and I don't want to think about the future.
Right.
And we can give him a lot of grace as to why he might be in that, based on, I don't know what the situation was in his area of Albania. I'm not privy to that, but I can guess that maybe the instability politically or whatever, safety wise or whatever, in the area he was in, has influenced this viewpoint. Agreed?
Hey, it's George. That's right. I've been here the whole time, just creeping. Kind of like the creepy spammers and scammers out there using and selling your personal data. Not cool, guys. Not cool. And that's why you need to check out Delete Me. Delete Me will find and remove your info from all of these data broker sites to reduce the risk of spam and scam in your life. Delete Me has already removed my info from over 250 websites that don't have any business having it. And as a Ramsey fan, you'll get 20% off all of their plans, which comes out to less than $9 a month. So after this clip, go sign up and take control of your privacy at joindeleteme.com/Ramsey, or click the link in the description to get the deal. All right, back to the call.
Has influenced this viewpoint. Agreed?
Agreed.
But it is a broken and stupid and immature viewpoint, regardless of how he got there. Regardless of how he got there, okay? And so that's a problem for you, because you get to live with someone who's going to do no planning for the future, which guarantees your future sucks.
Right.
That's a problem. So that has to be solved relationally going forward. So we have to solve for this and walk him out of that, or walk away from him.
Yeah, I'm going to recommend, Emily, I'm going back to the days when I taught all three of my kids to ride a bike. And if, in fact, he is truly scared of this product, 401k, because he doesn't understand it, maybe there was corruption, all the things that Dave pointed out. If, in fact, he's truly afraid of it, and that's why he calls it a scam, then, in fact, now you can deal with fear, because he doesn't understand it. So it's like teaching someone to ride a bike. They're scared to death to ride a bike, so what do? You put training wheels on first, right? And then you move from training wheels to, I would hold the back of the seat and I would run with them for a bit. The point is, this is going to be a gradual teaching process for you, I think, if in fact he's scared.
Before we talk about this relationship being permanent.
That's right.
Right.
Okay. Now, and so, I'll give you another example that runs parallel. Okay. If you come from a Latin American country where the banking system is full of fraud and is unstable and doesn't have an FDIC underpinning, and people lose their money when the bank goes broke, like they did in the Wild Wild West in America. If you come from one of those Latin American countries and you come here, it's not unusual at all for people from that type of a culture to have a deep distrust of banks. And yet the banking system in America, even though I hate banks, but I mean, it's not, your money's not unsafe in a bank in America. That's an absurd idea. But it's based on where they come from, not based on reality. Now, if you're going to marry someone who says, I'm going to stack $200,000 under our mattress in cash because I refuse to accept the fact that American banks are safe based on the country I grew up in, they're not safe, then that's not marriage material. You're marrying someone that has not adapted well to the new culture that they live in. And you're going to have problems as a result, and shortages and issues. And so, you've got to they have to make the transformation. If that's what it is. If it's simple immaturity, I'm 14 years old and I'm going to live for Friday. Thank God it's Friday, party for the weekend. And I meet 57-year-old Americans who do that. Okay. They have where there is no vision, the people perish. And they end up retiring and trying to live on Social Security and griping and whining because all the opportunity's gone in America because they drank theirs on Friday night because they were so freaking childish. Now, I meet those that are Americans that are 57 years old. You don't want to be married to that guy, 25 years from now. Agreed?
Agreed. Yes, sir.
So I think you got to work. I think you're wise to bring the question up, and you got to work through this with him, or I'm going to be your old ugly Uncle Dave and say, I love you. Don't marry this guy. He ain't worth it.
Yes, I appreciate all the advice. Thank you so much.
That's a really cool question.
It really is. I would take him to your SmartVestor Pro if you have one. If you don't need to get one, but I would literally take him in there and I'd honor all of his questions. If in fact, and Dave and I don't know, but if in fact he's scared, I think the best way to help someone who's scared is to honor their fear.
Well, there's two types of fear.
What are you afraid of?
False evidence appearing real.
That's right.
Which is, if
I invest this,
I fell on my bicycle the last time you let go of the seat, and I skinned my knee. So the next time you let go, I'm going to die.
That's right.
That's false evidence appearing real. Yeah. Actual fear is of something that is logical. If you're standing in the middle of the interstate and 18-wheeler's coming at you at 100 miles an hour, you should move.
That's right.
That's actual fear. Yeah. You're going to die. That's a lot different though, and so. This is false evidence appearing real, or it's immaturity. I don't know which. Yeah. But it's one of those two things, and either way, you got to deal with it to go forward. So we got to drill down. We got to get to ground zero on this, and then work our way out. Really good question.
Yeah. And I just want to point out again, when you're in a relationship and you're not on the same page, and it's really fear holding the spouse or a boyfriend or girlfriend back, honor their questions. Don't dismiss them. Don't always try to explain them. Let them sit in that and ask the questions and get with somebody, a third party. In this case, a SmartVestor Pro who can answer every question about fraud and anything like that. And if hopefully they get there and the light bulb goes off, and now we're on the same page.
Yeah, it's tempting to roll your eyes at something that's stupid.
That's right.
But but you can't. You got to honor it and go, okay, there's a reason for this. And then let's get to the root of why, and can we solve for it so we can go forward? Because we're not aligned on what reality is here. And when you can't align on reality, you have a problem. Create your free Every Dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Most mornings at 4:45 a.m., the alarm goes off beside my bed. The coffee goes off about the same time on a timer. I'll need it about then. Sharon and I get up and spend a little time talking and drinking coffee and praying and catching up on our Bible and scanning through what's happening in the news, and I always jump on TweetDeck and just see what's happening out there in the world on Twitter. And I always find some interesting stuff about, 5:36 in the morning or something like that. And this morning was no exception. Now, here's my rule about Twitter, okay? I will not come after you personally on Twitter unless you call me out. And then I might respond if you call me out. And so I do not feel like I am prohibited from responding when you trash me. I'm not prohibited from responding. Now, there are people that say, oh, just ignore everybody, don't be thin-skinned. Well, I'm not thin-skinned, but I just think it's always interesting that you're allowed to say whatever the flip you want to say, and I'm not allowed to say anything back. So I always want to let you know, rules for Dave Ramsey Twitter is this. If you use my name anywhere in the social media universe, I might see it and I might respond. I might likely have fun with you and make fun of you. That's possible. Or I could use you as an object lesson, which is what I'm going to do today. So apparently there's an article floating around, which I hadn't seen until this morning, and I did look it up, about Jay-Z, the rapper Jay-Z. He had one expensive night out in Manhattan on Sunday, according to this article on Fox News, dropping more than $110,000 to celebrate the birthday of Juan Perez, his close friend and the president of Rock Nation Sports. Jay skipped the All-Star game and took Juan and a group of Rock Nation execs to Zuma in Midtown for dinner, which is a nice place, picking up the tab there for $13,000. Then the group headed down to Made in Mexico in Inwood, spending $9,000 on drinks, including Jay-Z's cognac. He owns a cognac brand, followed by a stop at a nearby nightclub Playroom, where even though they were by this point down to a group of 6, they ordered and paid full price for 40 bottles of Ace of Spades champagne, which is really nice champagne, also owned by Jay-Z. The stunned Playroom server posted Jay's check on Snapchat, which came to a whopping $91,135. That was his bar tab. $91,135, and included an epic $11,000 tip. Well played, Jay-Z. And now I got to tell you, I'm a child of the 70s, and so I'm more like Boston, Journey, Heart, Eagles. So rap wasn't even invented back when I was cool. By the time rap came around, I wasn't cool. And so I've never really developed a taste for it, but I have been so intrigued by the rappers. Even though I don't listen to rap music. I'm not against it. I'm not mad at it. It's just not my style. And yet I've gotten to meet several of them and hang out, and they are an interesting crew. We got one that does some stuff on money that comes on the air here with me. It's a great guy. Jay-Z, by all accounts, is one of the world's best businessmen. He makes a lot of money. He does a great job managing his business. And, he's got his own line of champagne. He's got his own line of cognac. He's got his own line of this, his own line of that. And so not only has he made $1 bazillion as a music artist and is a world-class legitimate music artist, obviously, but he's a great business guy, apparently. I've never met him. I don't know him. But, I mean, I've just known this, 1 degree, 2 degrees of separation for years about Jay-Z. And I don't know anything about his character. I don't know the guy at all. But he makes a lot of money. He manages his business affairs very well, by all appearances. And so I just looked it up. I thought, you drop $100,000, $91,000 plus $11,000 tip in the nightclub. You drop $100,000. I wonder what you make. Because people always go, wow, that's unbelievable. Well, apparently he made $42 million in 2017. And he dropped $100,000 last night or night before last or whatever it was. Which it's hard I grew up in Antioch, Tennessee. To get my head around dropping $100,000 in a bar tab, I can't get my brain wrapped around that emotionally. But it always helps me, and therefore you, to do ratios on things. And so I just start taking zeros off. So what if you were a doctor and you made, or an Indian chief, I don't know what you are, and you make $120,000 a year. I'm sorry, $420,000 a year. He makes $42 million. Let's say you made $420,000 a year. Him dropping $100,000 on a night on the town would be, at making $42 million, would be like someone making $420,000 a year spending $100. If you make $42,000 a year, it would be like you spending $10. In other words, he's okay. It's weird for you and me because our incomes are not $42 million a year. I've got a very nice income, but it's not $42 million a year. And so it's weird to look at somebody spending $100,000 and, well, you could feed starving children. Well, who says he doesn't feed starving children? Shut up. We don't know what he does or doesn't do. But this idea that you have to hate on Jay-Z for dropping $100,000 when the guy's a world-class business guy, a world-class artist at what he does. Again, I'm not defending him because he's a friend of mine. I don't even know him, but I'm just defending the concept. A, he's earned the right. B, he didn't hurt anybody. C, he really didn't spend that much because he bought his own stuff. So by the time it goes back through wholesale, and back into his account, he's going to make money. I mean, he paid full price at the restaurant. He didn't mess around with them there, but I mean, it is his stuff that got sold to the restaurant. Hello, the champagne and the cognac that is his line. So I'm sure. I mean, I don't know whether it's licensing deal or whether he actually owns those businesses, but in other words, it wasn't a net of $100,000. But even if it was a net of $100,000, even if he wasn't buying his own stuff. If you make $42 million a year and you spend $100,000 on a night on the town, that's like someone making $420,000 spending $100, or someone's making $42,000 spending $10. Now, when we come back from the break, here's what we're going to address in the next segment. Guy tweets, I'm up to my elbows in bleep every day, making a third of this in a year. In other words, it makes $30,000 a year. And I'm the lazy, self-entitled millennial for wanting to make more money. I clearly have a different definition of lazy, self-entitled than the Sean Hannity and Dave Ramsey crowd. And he prints out a picture of Jay-Z's spending the picture of the ticket that was out there for $91,000 plus $11,000 tip. Not a bad tip, not 20%, but not a bad tip. So let's address this when we come back. It's something to talk about, because you called me out, dude, so we're going to talk about this, because it's an interesting lesson for you to learn. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Okay, so I end up getting in the middle of this because some guy calls me out on Twitter. So Jay-Z the rapper and businessman, makes $42 million a year, has a great night on the town, buying Ace of Spades champagne, which is his own champagne at a club, runs up a $91,000 tab, puts an $11,000 tip on it, drops $100,000 in one night. He makes $42 million a year last year. Awesome. Good for him. I'm proud for him. And by the way, he's seen handing out bottles to other tables in the club, according to the article as well. And if you don't know, Ace of Spades champagne is about $300 a bottle. Okay, it's like Dom Perignon. Okay, I mean, it's pretty serious. I don't know if it's as good necessarily. I'm not a champagne connoisseur, but it's about the same price point, in other words. And so that's like someone making $420,000 a year, spending $100 in one night. That's like someone making $42,000 a year, spending $10 in one night. Well, that's opulent. That's gaudy. That is over the top. That's extravagant. You shouldn't do that, says you. See, there's the problem we have in America. You get to figure out what Jay-Z does with his money. He didn't do anything wrong. He was celebrating his friend, being generous to other tables, promoting his own brand of his product. He didn't do anything wrong. Does it blow my mind that you can drop $100,000? Yeah, I admit emotionally it blows my mind. But then a guy comes on Twitter and says, I'm up to my elbows in bleep every day, making a third of this in a year. 30,000, I guess. And I'm the lazy, self-entitled millennial for wanting to make more money. I clearly have a very different definition of lazy, self-entitled than the Sean Hannity, Dave Ramsey crowd. Now, I can't speak for the Sean Hannity crowd. I don't know, except to the extent they overlap with my crowd. But I will tell you two things. Number one, I take offense to the idea that I somehow don't like millennials, because I have defended millennials many times here on the air. I have said I have a ton of them working for me here, and the ones that work for me are awesome. Now, there are two types of millennials, sucks and awesome. There's no middle ground. We love millennials that are missional and driven, and man, they'll fight. They fight to win. I love them. I got a bunch of them on my team. My children are millennials. So I am not anti-millennial. Millennial is an age group. It's not a mindset. Is there a percentage of them that are participation trophy living in their mother's basement whiners? Yeah, there is. This guy's apparently one of them. And so, I mean, that's the deal, right? So why are you griping if you make $30,000 a year about Jay-Z's success? Now that's what I wanted to talk about right there. Because, see, let me just tell you, there's a couple things in your character that predispose you to being successful. I said that wrong. But anyway, predispose you to being successful. That's the correct word, proper word. Okay. One of the things that predisposes you to being successful is gratitude. Grateful people are highly attractive. Whether you're a millennial or you're a baby boomer or whatever you are. Bitterness, envy, jealousy predispose you to continue to be a failure in life. And so if you want to throw stones through other people's window because you don't have what they have, I will tell you that predisposes you to not win. The chances of you winning go down when you do that. Very few people sit and whine and gripe about other people's success and on their way to becoming successful. It's very rare. The people that become successful almost always are people who celebrate other people's success. And so, number one, I'm not against millennials. I'm for millennials. And I don't think they're lazy, self-entitled, all of them, but I think some of them are, and some baby boomers are lazy and self-entitled, and some Xers and Gen Yers and whatever else are lazy and self-entitled. Lazy and self-entitled is a thing. It's not an age. And I make a third of this, and I'm wanting to make more money. No, you're not wanting to make more money. What you're saying in your tweet is you want somebody to give you more money because you breathe air. That's lazy and self-entitled. If you want to make more than Jay-Z, go do more than Jay-Z. If you want to make more than $30,000 a year, go do more than people that make $30,000 a year. I've made $30,000 a year. I've made less. One year I made $6,000. God, that's a long year. It's awful. Listen, let me just tell you, if you want to make more money, you can make more money. But griping about Jay-Z's bar tab and indicating that you don't make enough because he has a bar tab that makes as 3 times what you make in a year is not an indication of a societal problem. It's an indication that you are jealous. Worse than that, you're envious. Jealousy is I want what you have. Envious is I don't want you to have what you have because I don't think I can get it. Well, I'll never have a car like that, so you shouldn't be allowed to. I'm not going to get an inheritance, so you shouldn't be allowed to. I'm not able to blank, 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 so you shouldn't be allowed to. That's envious. Envy is an evil spirit that is loose in the land of America today. Envy and jealousy is an evil spirit. And it has invaded some of you of all age groups. Well, the one percenters, the evil one percenters, the evil millionaires, the evil fat cats on Wall Street, the evil this. And you assume automatically that someone that has more than you has done something wrong to get there and should have it taken away from them. That's envy. Be careful with envy because let me give you a ratio. If you make a household income of $34,000 a year, up to your elbows in bleep every day, you're in the top 1% of income earners in the world. So someone in a different country could look over here in a different setting that makes a lot less than you and say, oh, I don't make that in 10 years. And you make that because you're in the United States. And you make $34,000 a year, and you shouldn't have that because I don't think I ever will. That is a dangerous thing. If you catch yourself being jealous or even worse, envious of someone else's success, that is setting you up to remain not only bitter, but in failure. Celebrate other people's success. Celebrate other people's success. Defend their right to go and be successful. There are people in this world that are better looking than Dave Ramsey. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of them. There are people in this world that are a lot more talented than Dave Ramsey. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of them. There are people in this world that are smarter than Dave Ramsey. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of them. There's a few people, not many of them, that work harder than Dave Ramsey. But in every one of those cases, if they're doing something with their talents, their gifts, their intellect, their looks in the marketplace, they make more than I make. But I'm not bad. I'm not mad at Beyonce. She's a much better dancer than I am. And I suspect most of y'all would rather look at her on a screen than me. And I wouldn't blame you. And she makes a lot more than I make. I'm not mad at Bill Gates' job. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So I'm 29 years old, and back in 2023, after a harsh talk with my wife to manage her spending, we made the decision to get out of debt, and we achieved that. And 2025 was going to be our year that we were house shopping and going to buy our first house. And about a month and a half ago, I got a statement in the mail for some credit cards and found that my wife has pulled about 3 new credit cards and has maxed them out, and we've now accumulated some new debt. She's always had a bit of a spending problem, and I thought we got through it, and we were pretty happy being debt-free. Just not quite sure how we have this conversation again, and how to make this stick and be on the journey of being debt-free and managing our money.
How much debt on the 3 cards?
From zero, we've now accumulated a little over $3,000.
Okay. And when you said, hey, I thought we were getting out of debt and saving for a house, and you ran up credit cards and you knew I hated debt and we had worked to get out of debt, and you did this and didn't tell me, what did she say?
Well, she's pretty embarrassed but defensive. Her mother stole her identity at a very young age, and she's never had great finances. We've did a lot to get her out of debt, from debt that was accumulated as she was 8 years old with TV, utility bills, cable bills, all done by her mother. So we did a lot to do that, and she doesn't want to end up like her mother. And she's very embarrassed.
How old is she?
She's 30 now.
Okay. How old are you?
29.
And how long have you been married?
8 years.
Okay. All right. I'll give you an observation of what I think I heard you saying.
Hey, George here in the control booth, and I bet you're wondering what they're going to say next. Get out of debt, sell the horse, yada, yada, yada. The advice may be predictable, but the internet is anything but. You see, your personal info is out there, up for grabs by shady companies ready to add more scam and spam to your life. And that's why I use Delete Me. Delete Me will scrub your data from all of these sites so that you can focus on The Ramsey Show instead of who's buying and selling your info. And Ramsey fans get 20% off at joindeleteme.com/Ramsey or by using the link in the description below. So go take control of your privacy as soon as this call is over.
I'll give you an observation of what I think I heard you saying. And I want to play it back to you, okay? I think you were using the words we and our when it was only you. I wanted to get out of debt, so I talked to her about her spending, and I got us out of debt so that I could buy us a house.
I had a harsh conversation.
I don't think
with her.
she was involved in any of this emotionally. I don't think she agreed with the decision. I think she went along with it because she's embarrassed and shamed about her handling of money. But I don't think as a grown-up she stood up and said, I'm going to join hands with you and we are going to hit these goals. Instead, I think she's been treated like a little girl again by you. That's the language you were using, and I'm going to play it back to you. Did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And, when you said, Bobby, I had to have a harsh conversation with her about it. And so yeah, so I think the real question is, number one, kind of what Dave was just proposing of, okay, so looking back now at the whole journey in which you guys have walked through the last few years with money, how has she been through that? And obviously not very on board, or she has some major issues. And honestly, the whole spending addiction world has really exploded in the even more recent because of how easily it is to have access. So whether it's to credit cards or shopping online, all of it, just like gambling addiction has gone up with sports betting and all of it. So there's such this environment, Bobby, that she's having to honestly fight a bigger battle now today in 2025 than even in previous, generations. Yeah. So my question would be to her is, what's going on with her? What is it that's causing this to happen? Because we see it all the time that there is, levels of really deep pain, and the medicator is the spending. And so I'm curious, and with her backstory of her mom and not trusting fully the adult in her life, and the adult in her life used her completely and stole her identity to mismanage money on top of that, right? Like there's a lot there for her. And so does she recognize any of that, or is any of that in the conversation?
Yes. We sat down early on when we wanted to buy a car together, and we would like to finance something, and she didn't know anything about credit and all that, and that's where it was found. And she was very upset by that, and it came as far as she was actually arrested on felony charges for deceptive practice for a bad check written by her mother, and luckily found not guilty. And that's where the changing point in our lives were to get out of.
How long ago was all
my
that?
debt, her debt.
How long ago was that? How long ago was that check thing?
The check was made when she was 18, still in college.
I mean, when did this charge come?
Charge came in 2021.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is 4 years in the past, and apparently we've gotten Mom off the stealing pattern. Mom's not stealing her identity anymore, at least as far as we know, right?
No, we're completely locked down with our identities.
Good. Okay, so all of that's in the past. She didn't do anything wrong there. She was a victim there. Then that changes gears when she runs up debt in contrast to what you guys have talked about. And so Rachel's right. It could be an addictive behavior. It could be coming out of pain. It could be coming out of you just controlled everything and she didn't have a vote, and this was her only way to have a vote. So she just ran off and did whatever the flip she wanted to do because you tell her everything to do, and she doesn't, she's saying, her little girl's saying, you're not the boss of me, I'll show you. And sometimes people react that way too. Mm-hmm. So because I think you told her what to do, I don't think you got agreement. There's a difference.
Would you agree with that, Bobby?
I absolutely agree in a half and half scenario. I know I can have that kind of tendency.
You have on the phone with us.
Yes.
Okay. We heard it. That's where it's coming from. I'm not being mean to you. I'm just saying that, there's a difference in getting people to buy into a vision and go forward. That's leadership. There's a difference in a leader and a boss. A boss has got a cattle prod and tells you what to do. It's a stick and no carrot. And that's in business, but it's also in ministry. It's also in your marriage. And so versus I'm going to get collaboration. We're both going to sit down and talk about the pluses and minuses of debt. We're going to we agree we're going to get out of debt because it's the fastest way to build wealth. We agree we're going to get out of debt because we want to buy a house. Not Bobby wants to buy a house, and he told her what to do so it could happen. I kind of think that's what happened, Dave. So I'm not blaming you for this. She shouldn't have lied. She shouldn't have deceived you under any circumstances. That's wrong. And so you guys probably need to sit down with a good marriage counselor, ask them about a possibility of a spending addiction, but also let's get some different patterns to get agreement and sell a vision for the future. The Bible says where there is no vision, the people perish. Let's both buy into where we want to go, not where you tell her we're going. There's a difference. This is The Ramsey Show. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Laura's with us in Richmond, Virginia. Hey, Laura, welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
It's an honor, really, to speak with you. I'm fairly new to you, and I actually discovered you online. I've been listening to your podcast while I walk, and you've really given me a lot of hope with the situation that I find myself in. So I recently discovered that my husband we are in $205,000 worth of debt that I did not know about.
How do you get $205,000?
How do I not know about it? Yeah. Well, I was really absent from handling our finances. We have 4 beautiful children, and I have been mom. So we just had really a division of labor in our house, and I just kind of stumbled on some things that have happened. We're in therapy now. A lot of things are going on, but he was really embarrassed and ashamed, really stressed out about our debt, and hid it really well, took out some personal loans. Our house that we were living in at the time, which we no longer have, we've sold it, but it really, was draining us financially. I did not realize that. When I would ask for a budget sheet, I didn't get a real budget sheet, so there was some dishonesty, just lack of communication. I wish you had come into our lives 5 years ago, but unfortunately, this is where we find ourselves, and so we're doing a lot of work, but I have been just combing through things to try to figure out a plan, and I came across you, and I think that nothing happens by chance, and God brings people into your life for a reason.
Mm-hmm. What kind of debt is the $205,000?
So personal loans, credit card debts, and it really was, everything was really just for the care of our family and traveling and things that we never, ever should have been doing. But, I think that unfortunately my husband is a great man. He's made some really stupid choices and living the lifestyle.
So he was covering your all's overspending by lying to you and borrowing the money to cover it, and that's the extent of the deal here.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. And you guys are.
And he's taken responsibility, and we are
seeing a marriage counselor. Good.
Seeing a counselor. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. We're both Christian. We're going to work through this.
And what's your household income?
So he makes about $145. He's got a great job.
That's good news. Okay.
Yeah, that's really good news. Okay. But even with that, the monthly minimum with everything was $6,041. Mm-hmm. We've been doing a lot of work, and we were able to get some of the loans consolidated with a little help. So now the monthly payout will be about $3,540. Mm-hmm. I read about the debt snowball. I'm currently not working, but I am committed to taking whatever jobs I need to get us back on track. We do have 4 kiddos who are just wonderful kids.
How can I best help today?
So I think what I need is some guidance from you. Like I hear the cutting up your credit card.
Definitely.
So we're using just one credit card.
No, cut it up.
Cut it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys have had enough of that fun.
Oh, no doubt, right? Yeah. And so the other thing that I think is really weighing on me, we actually had sold our home and moved to a different state, and we moved here in hopes of buying a new home and all of this, but obviously that was before I knew anything that was going on. I've listened to you that you say if you're in debt, you can't afford a house.
Right, you can't afford a house right now. And you're going to get a house, and you're going to get your life back, but it's going to take you a little while to dig through the $205,000. The good news is you have a really big income to do that. You guys need to be on a written budget. Get on everydollar.com. Use the free online budgeting tool for the two of you to work together. Cover that in your marriage counseling sessions. Go over your budget. Cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it. Live on nothing. And if you throw $70,000 of your $150,000 income towards this, you'll be debt-free in 3 years. And then you'll be able to rebuild. And that's where you're going to be.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Derek's in Dallas. Hi, Derek. What's up?
Yes, sir. So my wife has a question.
Where's she?
We've taken. She's at work right now.
Okay.
We took FPU. We've got everything listed out from smallest to largest. We've knocked out some debt already with the bonus that I got. She gets a 10-year bonus in January. She's got 7 school loans here, about $19,000 worth. And her question is, for peace of mind, the credit cards are a lower balance. So theoretically, going by the program, we'd have to hit the school loans. But if we took
I'm sorry,
her,
you said the credit cards are a lower balance. You mean the school loans are lower balance?
no, the school loans are larger balances, but lower monthly payments. And if we did it according to FPU, we do the school loans before the credit cards. But
No.
if we did the credit cards
No,
first,
stop. Whoa. You must have flunked.
Go ahead.
You said you just told me the balances on the credit cards are smaller.
Yes.
Okay, you're supposed to pay off smallest to largest, not payment. Balance.
There's two school loans that are larger than or smaller than the credit card.
Okay. So what?
The question is, if we pay off the larger balance on the credit card to free up a larger monthly payment to go towards other things versus if I pay off two credit cards, it frees up about $117,
Hey, Derek, can I be smart aleck for a second?
Go ahead.
If you had a plan, it got you where you are. Why would you question this? Why don't you just do it? We've taught 10 million people how to do this.
Well,
Why are you trying to be a genius now?
I'm not. She's just wanting the snowball to be bigger.
She's wanting the snowball to be working her way. It doesn't work her way.
I got you.
Pay off the smallest to the largest.
I got you.
All kinds of studies have backed up that what we're doing actually works, including 10 million people of going through Financial Peace University and getting out of debt.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so,
I agree.
Okay, I'll get past the smart aleck and I'll calm down a second. Now, let's try a second. Let's go back at it for a second. So, do we need to walk through reinforcement on why we teach that? You all didn't grasp that from Financial Peace University?
No, we understood it. It was just a question that she wanted more reassurance. She's a government official, so she was out a lot of the classes, and I was the one that was attending. So just because required meetings that she had to attend. So
okay, so she missed the class.
Yeah, he does need reinforcement, Dave. Derek, it's okay to admit it. You need the reinforcement to be able to answer the question.
No. She needs to go through that lesson.
Well, that's
true, the answer.
Too. That's true.
Because she wants a logical understanding, and because she doesn't have this knowledge base that you've got. That's okay. That makes more sense than I went to class and I disagree while I'm broke.
Yeah, no, we don't disagree. It was just
no, not
more,
we, her. Okay?
Okay.
Because she was the one asking the question. She's not here, but now I can defend her because she has an honest question about something because she doesn't know. She didn't go to that.
Gotcha.
She didn't go to that lesson, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool. That's fine. I completely understand that. So let's go back then, and instead of picking on her, because she's not here, that's not fair. But we can do one of two things. All right, let's do number one. When did you take the class?
It was started a few months ago. We just finished it up like 3 weeks ago or right after Thanksgiving.
At your church or online?
At church, yes.
Did you get the online application as a part of the package that you guys got into?
Yes,
Do
sir.
you have access to the lesson to watch it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Pull up the lesson on debt, and the two of you sit there and watch it, and don't you say a word. Let her catch up with the knowledge base. Okay? Because that'll help. Now, but then here's what, for your benefit at this moment and the rest of the people listening, here's what she's going to hear for the first time. Mm-hmm. And that is this. I personally, when I started this as a math nerd, wanted to pay off the highest interest rate first, which is mathematically correct. It's only mathematically correct if you have the same probability of completion. However, when you pay off the highest interest rate first, or you start monkeying around with paying off balances that feel good, you don't have the same probability of completing the whole get-out-of-debt plan. And when you enter probability into the mathematics because you messed with the behavior tool, then you lower your completion rate. And all that garbly-gook to say, if you don't go get out of debt because you screw with the plan, then your plan was dumb. You know, that's what it amounts to. So what we've proven is that personal finance is 80% behavior. It's only 20% head knowledge. It's not a math problem. If we were doing math, we wouldn't have gotten in credit card debt. It's not a math problem. It's a behavior problem. So the way you attack a behavior problem is with a behavior-based solution, not a math-based solution. That's what we started doing 30 years ago, and it's been highly successful. That's why I was leaning back in and being a smart aleck, okay? But I didn't understand at the moment that I did that your wife hadn't even seen the lesson, so bad on me. So anyway, now, so the way what we know is that if you go to the gym and you work out and you eat salads for a week and you gain 4 pounds, you will quit. Even if it would work a month from now, you won't keep doing it. So your probability of completion is 0. Human beings have to have a sense of traction. We have to have some solutions. We have to have a sense of progress, a feedback loop, psychologists call it. And we need a feedback loop that says you're winning. If I go to the gym and I lose weight, I'll keep going to the gym. If I quit eating Big Macs and I lose weight, I'll quit eating Big Macs. You will keep in the loop. Well, if you pay off some debt, you'll pay off some debt, you'll pay off some debt. You'll stay in the feedback loop. That's why the debt snowball works. And that's why it's been more successful than any other get-out-of-debt plan in America. Create your free Every Dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Brought to you by YRefi. Refinance your defaulted private student loans today at yrefi.com/Ramsey.
My fiance and I are getting married in a couple weeks, and he is in the process of moving out of his the home that he has been renting from one of his friend's parents for the last 3 or so years. Mm-hmm. And there was a water leak that he noticed out of the outside of the house. And so he told his landlord about it. And basically it's turned into this big situation where like basically the entire bathroom has to get ripped out. And there was a small leak on the inside of the bathtub that like dripped into the bathtub. And he hadn't said anything about that. But then as soon as he saw the outside, he said something. What I'm getting at is now they want us to pay, or they want him to pay the $5,900 deductible. And the plumber said that the leak was inside the wall, not outside the wall.
I'm sorry, even if it's inside, even if it's outside, it doesn't matter. Why is it your husband? Why is it the renter's fault that the water leaked?
This is why you rent.
Okay, thank you. That's what I was feeling, but oh God.
I mean, if your fiance did something that caused the leak, or like had a water bed or something, and and they didn't, right. They caused the mold or they caused the rot, then is there even any such thing as a water bed? I was
going to say, welcome back to the 90s.
Welcome back to the 90s, Dave.
That's cool.
But
Back to the Future one.
Yeah, but anyway, I mean, if he had a cold plunge, okay, let's get back, and it leaked, okay, something modern,
okay,
and he caused the mold or caused some rot, that's the tenant damaging the property. He would be responsible for that. But if I own a property and I own a bunch of property and the water line breaks or has a leak in it, that's not the tenant's financial responsibility.
Has there been a handshake deals like under market rent or something because those are parents of a friend?
Yes. So there was no like contract. They didn't ask him to get renter's insurance, and he had been paying like $500 and then $750 more recently. And
so they're kind of coming at him, not from legally, but they're kind of like, hey, bro, be cool, dude, and give us $6,000, kind of like that.
Right. Like, yeah, we've let you live here for this amount, but
now you have to fix our house when it breaks.
Okay, thank you. That's what I was feeling. My fiance is just so wonderful, and he thought because he had seen the leak on the inside that was dripping into the tub and hadn't said something sooner that he feels he has some bit of responsibility.
No, he does not. No, he does not.
Okay. Should we be, do you have any recommendation on how to approach this conversation with them?
it's not by your hand, but in your lap. They've chosen to put the relationship on the table, and so they severed their relationship. And so there's not a way that you can, no matter how nicely you say what you need to say, which is no, thank you, or I'm unable to pay or unwilling to pay.
I'm not responsible for this. I'm the tenant.
They're still going to be mad.
My agreement with you did not cover me fixing your broken house because I got cheap rent.
Okay, thank you. That I have listened to y'all for years, and that's what I thought. And my mom has had rental houses, but this felt way over the top. And yeah, he doesn't want to sever the relationship, but I felt
they've already severed it.
No, they already did that.
Yeah. No, they put a price tag on it. It's $5,900.
There you go.
Okay.
But that's not the issue. I mean, so all you can do is just be kind and smile and say, "Gosh, I'm so thankful for the rent, but I did not sign up for doing all the repairs for your home. That was not our agreement. You were kind to me. You were generous to me. Thank you for that. But I am not. I in no time, and I'm getting married in 2 weeks. No, I can't splurge out $6,000. I don't have it, and it doesn't. And I'm not responsible for it. I'm so sorry. I hope that doesn't upset you. But if it does, then that's your decision, I guess."
Okay. Thank y'all so much.
Does that make sense?
So much peace. Yes, that's exactly what my argument was and what I thought. But I just my fiance is maybe softer hearted than I am.
And I got to tell you, I've been in a lot of situations like where we have a house and we had one of our rental houses and the lady got cancer. And we let them live there for free while they were, because nobody's working in the house, and it was just a horrible situation. We were able to do that because the house is debt free, but we didn't come back at the end of that and say this.
Right.
Even if they had torn up something, we made the decision to be generous, to extend grace to that family, but then we didn't try to take that back.
Right, like you owe me. Right.
And so these people are strange, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, that's what I told my fiance, because I've listened to y'all for years, and I said, they treated it all these years like a gift, and Dave has always said, if you're going to gift somebody something, then you accept, you don't loan somebody something unless you're willing to gift it, and like a family or something. And so I was telling him,
if their handshake agreement was he does all the repairs and he keeps the house up, then he should do the repairs. But nowhere in the story have you said that.
That's correct. That is not the case.
And there's a really fine line between he's so wonderful and spineless. That's a really thin line.
Yeah, he needs to be very kind and extremely strong.
Yeah, and the other thing is that, they're trying to say, we've made all these concessions for you, let you live here for $500, when they've had the house full of storage and it's a paid off house.
Yeah, but hey, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't go. Don't go.
None of that matters.
Stories.
None of that matters. Okay. All that matters is you gave me a deal. Thank you. That was our deal. Our deal was not that I pay for the plumbing breaks, and I not only can't, but I won't. I'm so sorry. And if that makes you angry, that really makes me sad, but then that's your decision to be angry. Goodbye.
Okay.
End of story.
So much.
But you, Catherine, don't sit there and spin up stories about, and they use storage.
Correct.
That is a choice for you to be miserable in the moment.
Yeah, and your fiance let them store stuff. That was part of the deal because he didn't change it.
Right.
If that went on for more than 30 seconds, he went on with it. So that you get a deal, but I'm going to store some stuff. Okay. If you don't object to that, then you made the deal.
And going back to what Dave said earlier, I love the way he said it. He said it much more eloquently than me. They have put a price tag on this relationship, and it's about $6,000. And it's not you guys violating some sort of bro code by they hooked you up, and then if something goes wrong down the road, they're going to circle back and be like, well, you owe us now because we were nice to you, so you got to be we don't have $6,000, so we're going to move on. Yeah. But they're the ones that violated the relationship. Kind of bums me out, Dave. I don't like that.
I'm just trying to think. I mean, you know what the problem is. It just occurred to me. Now, the house is paid for, but these people have no money.
Probably.
And so they're struggling with the $6,000. And before they knew it, they got weird. They might not even be weird people, but they just, for a moment here,
when you get desperate, you do some.
They lost their minds.
Yeah,
desperational. They just got, because they're talking about a newlywed couple, a couple getting ready to get married in 2 weeks, and the first thing I'm going to do is present, here's your wedding gift, a bill for plumbing.
Yeah, I can imagine like a canceled.
I'm going to help you with your rent, and I'm going to give you a wedding gift.
A canceled,
check for a bill for $6,000.
Yeah.
Who does that? Somebody's not thinking.
Yeah,
somebody's not thinking. Somebody's weird, because that's just so strange. The timing on the whole thing. I mean, golly. Oh man, crazy. Yeah, be careful when you sign up for stuff and there's not an agreement. Oh wait, we didn't sign up for stuff. Yeah, be careful when there's no agreement. This is the Ramsey Show. Why Refi refinances delinquent private student loans for struggling borrowers. Learn more at yrefy.com/Ramsey. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
All right, this one is from Jenny in South Carolina. My husband and I are on baby step 2. We have an SUV that is paid off, and my husband wants to finance a second vehicle. It's kind of the opposite of baby step 2 there, but he has $12,000 to put towards the purchase. I thought he was looking in the range of $35,000 to $45,000, but he now wants one that costs $90,000. He only wants to use the truck for 8 months and then take advantage of the buyback program from the dealership and get a cheaper vehicle then. We can't afford an $800 car payment for the next 8 months, and I don't trust the buyback program. How do I make him see that the numbers just don't work to finance a vehicle right now? I have asked him to find a vehicle that we can afford with the $12,000, or he can use our SUV and I will drive an older vehicle. This argument has been going on for 6 months, and I don't know how much more our marriage can take. The stress has gotten the worse, and I'm currently between jobs, and my income is very low right now. Ooh.
Goodness.
Sounds like a lot, Jenny.
It sounds like he is coping with a marriage on the rocks. She's unemployed. They're between incomes, and he's like, I'm going to go get a giant truck to make me feel better about all of this.
I just want some kind of comfort in my life right now because everything else seems to be chaotic. Yeah,
this man is reverting to a child. He's like Benjamin buttoning Rachel in real time with his finances.
Right in front of our eyes.
She's right. So Jenny, if you need some confirmation,
oh, yeah.
You have $12,000 to purchase a car.
But Jenny, I think you're asking the wrong question. She says, how do I make them see that the numbers just don't work?
It's not about the numbers.
It's not the numbers. It's the fact that you guys are obviously not on the same page. You're trying to do a program and get out of debt while he's adding on debt. Like, you're literally counteracting each other. It doesn't make sense. And so what ends up happening is exactly what is happening, sadly, is it causes a lot of stress. It causes a lot of fights because you're both not walking the same path. You're running into each other. And so that's going to cause tension. And so for you guys, I would just pan way back and say, okay, as our family, what do we want money to look like? What does this look like for us? And if you guys can't get on the same page with that value system, then yeah, I mean, I think we said it in an earlier call, but it's true. I'm like, that means you're probably not on the same page on a lot of things in life. And so working and finding that unity, and even if that's bringing in, a marriage counselor or a therapist to get you guys back on that same page. And always know with marriage, you guys, that there's always going to be opposites. Okay. So there's always going to be one person that always kind of wants the bougier thing, probably, and the one that's like, we're fine here. Or one's more of a spender, one's more of a saver. Like, you're always going to have these different money personalities in a marriage. So we're not saying you have to be uniformed and just identical robots together. But the overall big picture is that you want to be walking the same path. And that usually comes down to a value system conversation that obviously you guys are on separate pages. So I think that looking at that as the issue is where I would start.
Yeah, this is so tough because this marriage is only going to grow further apart if he makes this decision. And it's going to be a harder decision to undo. And it's going to cause so much resentment on Jenny's side of like, she is not going to feel like she has a vote in this marriage. If he goes and does this behind her back, in front of her back, no matter how he does it, it's going to screw things up even more. So she needs to have the come to Jesus meeting with him and go, listen, I don't feel safe. I'm trying to do this plan. This marriage is not going well. We need to get on the same page. You need to act like an adult and have some delayed gratification.
Yeah,
and that
absolutely.
means one day you can have that truck when we can pay for it in cash, when we're not in debt. But right now is not the time to go make more terrible decisions.
Yeah, because again, take the money piece out of this, you guys. Like, it's just the fact of, it's just disrespect, right? Like, if one spouse is pleading with another on something, you would listen to that,
What
right?
would you do if Winston went out and financed a $90,000 truck while you guys were in debt, actively trying to get out?
Well, that's the thing is I'm like, yeah, we can talk about the money piece about how that pulls you backwards and all of that, but it's a complete respect thing. I'm like, there's a level that you're obviously not being heard in your money, probably not in other parts of your marriage. And Jenny, like, I don't, I mean, it sounds like such a desperate situation, which is so sad and it's so difficult. And there's a lot of couples that are walking this road right now, but it's so much more than just the money decision. It's the fact that he's not hearing her, respecting her, and at least like, I'm like, it's one thing if he's like, no, Jenny, I think you're wrong, but you know what? I'll come down at least go to $35,000.
There's zero compromise.
Like, it's just a complete like middle finger is what it feels like. I'm like, I'm gonna just go do whatever I want, and that's not a marriage. That's not a healthy marriage.
I'm not here to rag on the truck bros, Rachel, because I get a lot of flack for that. But there's something
George's
about
opinion on trucks.
There's something I'm not going to even call them men in trucks. I'm going to say boys in trucks, because men in trucks I have no problem with. Winston Cruz has an awesome truck. I got to ride in it. That thing is awesome.
That's right.
Boys in trucks, and by boys I mean grown men who are financing $90,000 trucks to cope. That's not okay, and I will fight against that every single day.
Fight the good fight, George.
That's what I'm doing in Winston's Tundra.
The Lord's calling on your life.
Rachel, I had to crawl into Winston's Tundra. It was so high up. I was like, is there a ladder you can throw down for me?
It's not a raised truck. It's a regular truck, George.
Truck.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Brittany is with us in Johnson City, Tennessee. Hi, Brittany. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Okay, so my husband and I got FPU for our wedding, and we didn't get to the insurance part before we purchased our life insurance, and we got part permanent and part term. Mm-hmm. And, of course, we watched the insurance part last night, and we just got the life insurance about a week ago. Mm-hmm. So I texted our financial advisor and said we immediately wanted to get rid of the permanent and just have term. Mm-hmm. And he said, Dave Ramsey is talking about whole life permanent insurance, not portfolio-based permanent insurance, which is what you have. Mm-hmm. So is it still bad? Should we still just get the term?
Yeah, apparently he doesn't know much about Dave Ramsey. Okay, Dave Ramsey does not ever invest. I was real clear in the lesson. You heard me.
Yeah.
I never tell you under any circumstances to use life insurance as an investment vehicle. Okay. 100% of the time it sucks.
So would you say, because what we told him we wanted to do is switch,
I would say you need a new financial advisor.
Okay.
That's what I would say. You don't have a financial advisor. You have a life insurance salesman.
Okay.
Is selling you insurance.
So what we were thinking we should do is switch to $400,000 just of term each, and then the money because it was like $300 a month, which is a lot. Yeah. And just go ahead and open up our Roth IRA and start getting money into that instead.
Into good mutual funds.
Okay.
That's exactly what you learned in class, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you already knew what Dave Ramsey said.
Yeah, he just
which tells me one of two things.
That.
Either this guy's a liar or he's ignorant.
Right.
He's a family friend, isn't he?
Actually, one of our friends just apparently gave him our number because they use him for it as well.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know which it is. I mean, I don't know. But I do know that I have never in my life told someone to buy life insurance as an investment under any brand, heading, name, or description, ever.
Right. And the last thing is on our term policy. On your class, you said, 20 years, 30 years, whatever was fine. Mm-hmm. And our term policy was until we were 80 with him.
Okay. Why don't you jump on XanderInsurance.com and see what you can buy a 20-year level term policy for? I think it's going to blow your mind how much this guy's overcharged you for everything he sold you. Okay. And you're probably going to end up just canceling everything with him. So this guy really needs a good firing.
Okay. That sounds like what we're going to do in the end of this week.
All right. Thank you for calling in. And when you compare the prices, you'll see what I'm talking about. And you understood the lesson when we were talking about using life insurance as an investment vehicle. And the reason is, folks, for those of you that haven't seen the Financial Peace University lesson or never for some reason heard Dave Ramsey talk about this, in case someone else ever brings this up, because it does come up periodically, the people who sell investment-based or whole life or permanent life or portfolio or universal or anything where there's an investment going into insurance are not happy with me. They don't like me. And so they generally try to ignore me or lie about me or something else because I pretty much cost them all a bunch of business because they sell crap. Crap in a bag. That's what it is. Okay? It's pretty simple. So here's the thing. When you use life insurance as an investment vehicle, A, you get a bad rate of return. Regardless of what they quote you, after they take all of their fees, which usually in the first 2 years is 100%, sometimes up to 4 years is 100% of what should have gone to the investment goes out in fees. Even after that, you're going to make 3, 4, 5% on your money, and you should have been in a good mutual fund making 10, 11, 12% on your money. And that's where you should be. When you die with cash value, permanent portfolio, universal, indexed universal life insurance, they pay only the face amount of the policy, not the extra money that you put into the investment. That money is gone. So you have a savings account that for the first several years, they keep all your money. After that, they give you a bad rate of return. And when you die, they keep it all. This is a bad savings account. It's a bad investment program. The life insurance products that give you the opportunity to pay 20 times more than you would pay for term insurance in order that you create an investment inside of the policy are basically the payday lender of the middle class. They're crap. And that's what Dave Ramsey has always said. For 25 years here on the air, I've said it. And for 25 years, it's all I have owned myself. I have never owned, while this show was operating, any kind of whole life or investment-based life insurance of any kind, ever. Now, I did get a horrible Northwestern Mutual whole life, grotesque, old school, one of the worst of the whole lives when I was in my early 20s. And it was the same way, Brittany. It was a guy my wife knew from college. Came around selling right after we got married, and we bought this crap from him. I had it for about 9 months until I finally sat down with some guys who unpacked the numbers for me, and I about kicked my own butt when I saw how bad it was and got rid of it. And since then, I have never owned it. And since then, I've never told anyone to buy anything other than 15 to 20 year term life insurance, about 10 to 12 times your income on you. The best way to buy life insurance is through a broker that shops several companies. The best way to buy insurance of any kind is through a broker that shops several companies and gets you the best possible deal. Whether it's your car insurance, your homeowner's insurance, your long-term care insurance, your life insurance, your insurance of any kind. Let a broker shop among several companies and get you the best kinds of deal. And that's why we've endorsed for about 20 years Zander Insurance. Jeff Zander has become a personal friend of mine during that time. And I buy my personal life insurance from Zander. And I don't own Zander Insurance. I don't own any of it. That's the other lie that's always told about me. I would have a whole lot more money if I did own Zander Insurance, because Jeff has done rather well due to the Dave Ramsey endorsement. But the reason he's done well is he's got a very, very good system for getting you the best possible price on term life insurance. And it takes about like 13 seconds. And they don't sell your name to a list of people when you go on there either. So that's why I've endorsed them. It's real simple. It takes care of you guys, you the listener. And you need to get term life insurance. It doesn't cost that much. So just jump in there and do it. So, Brittany, thank you for calling in with that question and giving me the opportunity to clarify on that yet again. Yet again. Yes, you need life insurance. Oh, by the way, a broker, like even with your car insurance, jump on get with the ELPs, the endorsed local providers, for your what we call P&C, property and casualty. That's your car and your homeowner's insurance. You can shop. Most people save $300 to $800 a year on their car and homeowners when you shop it among several companies. Instead of using what we call a captive agent in the business, a captive agent can sell for one company, like a State Farm agent or a Nationwide agent, or Peyton Manning and Brad Paisley can sing to you agent. Was it Nationwide? That's Nationwide, isn't it? Yeah. But and they're both good guys. I like both of them. It's nothing to do with that. But you're paying for those guys when you use that insurance. It's built in. And neither one of those guys work cheap, I'll just tell you. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
I'm married, but I'm married about a year. Been with same girl for about 5 years before that. We didn't combine finances before we were married. Now we've been married, and I'm having trouble bridging that conversation with how to, use our income together instead of separately to try to battle against, our joint debts that we have.
So you've been married for how long now?
1 year.
1 year. How much? What's the total debt?
A year, yeah. So we have our mortgage is about $375,000, and then outside of the mortgage, it's about $150,000. $75,000 is a combination of like my student loans or other student financing, like for my CFP, and then $75,000 is a family debt that we owe my parents.
Certified financial planner?
I am, yes.
Okay.
I do private wealth management.
What does your wife do?
She does coordination for a healthcare company.
Okay. And what does the conversation sound like when you say, hey, I think we ought to combine forces now that we're married and combine all of our assets, our liabilities, and attack all this together as one unit? What does she say?
She's always, willing to contribute what's needed to a joint account, a house account that we use for things like that. But she is not really interested in having everything flow through the one account.
Why?
Both of our incomes, all of our expenses out. I can't say we've really dove into a big reason why.
I would be the first thing I would ask when she said that. You don't want to combine your life with me? That's a little disturbing.
And where's the other money going that she's not, quote, contributing to the joint account?
She keeps it in her own account or into her tax-free savings account.
Yeah. So basically, you guys are typical. By the way, you're right. We get this question all the time. But my rebuttal to her and people that believe like her is that all the data we have on wealth building indicates that what you're doing is not going to work.
Yeah.
Okay? When we study 10,000 millionaires, the vast majority of them in the 80, 90 percentile said that one of the reasons they were able to get there was they had a spouse that they had joined arms with and were fighting against all odds together to get there. It was a unified approach. It wasn't, I've got a roommate. Marriage is not a joint venture.
Yep.
And so that's my rebuttal to her on that. But I think you need to get under that because she's still acting like y'all live together.
Yep, basically.
And it's time to move on to the next stage once you're married. And it's the old-fashioned preacher said, and now you are one. Now, one thing that might be happening, and the reason I was asking about your careers, one thing that might be happening is you might be math and she might be art and healing. Meaning,
yeah, that's very much so.
Yeah, meaning that the last thing she wants to do is turn over her last little bit of autonomy to a control freak math nerd.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
He was nodding in agreement on the other side of the phone there.
So you gotta. So here's the way you combat that. I know that because that's what happened at my house. Okay, I am a control freak math nerd, and I'm good with math. And you don't get a CFP unless you're good with math. Okay, so you and me are the same dude. So at my house, it took me a while because I'm hard driving, overbearing, and all control freak, all that. It took me a while to heal that part of our relationship to where Sharon actually believed that her vote counted in the discussion. Now, George, however, is a nice guy, so Whitney already believed that her vote counted with George. But Sharon's like, you're going to do whatever you want to do anyway. Why do you want me to talk about it? You know.
That was a pretty good impression.
It's about right. It's about what it sounds like. So, but it's like it took me. So we do not make decisions and have not for 30 years since bankruptcy without making them together. And sometimes I have to force her to place her vote just to remind her that she has an equal vote. Because she sometimes will go, oh, do whatever you want to do. But I know how that ends up. That story doesn't end well. So I don't want to do whatever I want to do. I want her input, number one. But number two, I want her agreement so it doesn't come back on me later. And so part of what you're battling is she's not convinced she gets a vote.
Okay.
And you might just talk about it out loud like that and go, my personality, my makeup that allows me to be an excellent wealth manager, an excellent CFP, even pass the freaking exam for CFP, which for those of you out in the world don't know, that's like passing a CPA. It's a real serious test that Tom has passed. And so that tells me a lot of things about Tom, right? And so, but Tom, you just say, hey, the things that allow me to be good at this could be working against our relationship. And so I want to reset the table on our finances to where even though I'm an expert in finances, we have to have equal footing in deciding about our money. And you have to vote half and I have to vote half, and we have to combine them, and we've got to learn to work together because the benefit is going to be in our relationship is going to be a bazillion times better, and the other benefit is we're going to end up with more money.
Okay.
And all of that, as you can tell, had a lot of humility and empathy. It was not attacking and aggressive and combative. That's not going to get you far.
Yeah, he's not. He's not you're not aggressive. You're just a math nerd.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it manifests itself. It's like
your excitement comes across as aggression.
Yeah, you just enjoy the whole thing. And it's like, and she's like, I'm afraid if I get over there, I'll get that on me. It's like, and so.
It's like cooties.
Yeah, it's cooties, math cooties. So, but that's what goes on in a lot of the stuff out there. The spender feels like the saver is not going to let them have a vote.
Yes.
The math nerd doesn't let the artist have a vote. And it could be man or woman. It's not necessarily, it happens to be the man as a math nerd. Happens to be at my house. I'm the math nerd. But, it's not unusual at all for the lady to be that person. And they can be intimidating.
Well, then you show them, hey, what are your fears behind this? Because you're still going to get to enjoy life. Here's a line item that says Whitney's fun money in the budget. But we have transparency and accountability, which, by the way, is kind of what a relationship is built on. Trust.
There we go. Lots of increased communication. When you handle your money together, you're handling your life together, boys and girls. It changes everything. Create your free Every Dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Well, on this show, I've gone on record quite often in saying I've got a bunch of millennials here in the building. And we have a bunch of millennials that come on the show and do their debt-free scream. And so I've become a big fan of millennials, because the millennials who get it at a completely different level than other generations have. They get on fire for something, they're on fire for something. Once they attach themselves to a cause, they will run through a brick wall. And so the sharp millennials are the sharpest I've seen, and I don't know when. The dull millennials are the dumbest humans I've seen, and I don't know when. The most shiftless participation trophy living in your mother's basement group I've ever seen. And the good news about millennials is there's really only two kinds. fabulous and sucks. And there is a bunch of them that are fabulous. And so I don't know why I decided to take up the cause of bragging on millennials. I think it's because there's a group of people my age and in the media and in some of these stupid butt magazines and stuff that say all kinds of negative things about them as if the entire generation is living in their mother's basement collecting participation trophies. It's just not true. There's a group of them that are, but there's a group of them that are freaking rock stars too. And so, I guess that's why. And so I'm just kind of, when I pick up one of these articles now, I don't know why, I get mad about it. I don't like it. And CNN Money is become a ridiculous publication. It's just a ridiculous publication. The reason it's a ridiculous publication is they will print anything. I don't know if they have an editor or not that actually looks over the stuff and goes, this is bullcrap. We're not putting this in our publication. Because they will print anything. One article will make a lot of sense and be very good, and the next article you would think the guy's parents are cousins that wrote it. I mean, dumb human beings writing articles and published in CNN Money. And so I've seen everything in CNN Money, so occasionally I'll quote something out of there positive, but this one just burned me up. Millennials aren't opening credit cards, and that's a mistake. From CNN Money. Millennials don't use credit cards like their parents or their grandparents. Less than a third of millennials say they have a credit card, while more than half the people aged 30 to 49 own one, and nearly 70% of people over 65 do, according to a Bankrate survey. Financial experts, which I always love who are those people, say it's the fear of debt. Well, yeah, that would make sense, you stupid people. That explains why young people are shying away from credit. The fear of debt is like, I don't want to go in debt because I don't think debt's good. Yeah, that would be a good reason not to go in debt. Yeah, that's really, you needed a financial expert to figure that out, did you? Okay, I'm glad you found one to quote. They're vague. We have no idea who the financial expert is. Millennials have been stigmatized by debt, explains Douglas Boneparth, president of Bonafide Wealth in New York, and co-author of the Millennial Money Fix, book that sold 1,000 copies? I don't know. I've never heard of it. I'm sorry. They've witnessed firsthand the effects that mishandling debt can bring. Well, that would be true. Many watched parents or friends slip into debt during the 2008 financial crisis. Others have been crippled by student loans that take years to pay off. Experiences like that have made millennials wary of spending money they don't have. Well, that's not a bad thing. I think that's called wisdom. You're the same publication making fun of millennials, and now you're saying they're wary of spending money they don't have, and that's a mistake, according to CNN Money. Jeez, unbelievable. And more likely to retire on debit cards or cash. Man. Consumer protection laws passed after the crisis also contribute to the generational gap. The Card Act of 2009 makes it harder for millennials to qualify for a credit card. No, it doesn't. Unless they can prove they have enough income to pay it back. Oh, bull. Listen, if you're breathing, they will give you a credit card. And if you're not, they'll probably still give you one. They'll issue one in your dog's name and your cat's name. Let's be real about this. While being cautious about taking on too much debt is smart, experts, there are those experts again, agree. Using credit cards responsibly can lead to benefits down the road. So you millennials who are wary of debt, you're afraid of debt. You millennials who... What was the phrase? Where did it go? Wary of spending money you don't have. Shame on you. We can't have that. We can't have you millennials who are supposed to be shiftless and participation-driven trophy-driven idiots. We can't have you being responsible with your money. That just won't do. Oh, no. We want you to build your credit score. Are you thinking about taking out a loan for a new car? You'll need a credit score. Yeah, that would be more debt. But remember, they're wary of debt. They don't like to spend money they don't have. Remember those millennials that were being wise like their great-grandparents? Yeah. They had a little miniature Great Depression experience and crippled with student loans as a generation, and they've learned their lesson. They're not doing it anymore. But we can't have that at CNN Money. That's a mistake. Good luck getting your first home if you don't have a credit score. Yeah, because at CNN Money, we don't know anything about getting a mortgage. We think you have to have a credit score to get a mortgage. At CNN Money, we don't know about manual underwriting. So we want to be sure you go get into debt, you millennials, because we can't have you being wary and only spending what you make. God help us, no, that would cripple an entire generation. Oh, and you're going to miss out on rewards. You're not going to get those rewards. When done right and responsibly, you can leverage your accumulated rewards to accomplish your goals without breaking the bank, says San Francisco CFP George Galat. Well, George, you're an idiot. When you get 1% back on your spending and you spend $100,000 to get $1,000, that is not leveraging. When you spend $100,000 to get $1,000 on your Discover card, that is not leveraging. That's called stupid. Oh, and fraud protection. And here's the greatest. This just, I mean, if you're going to print stupid stuff, at least print stupid stuff that is the truth. Another compelling reason to opt for a credit card over a debit card is because they're better safeguard against potential fraud. Lie! Your Visa debit card has the exact same fraud protection as your Visa credit card. Your MasterCard debit card has the exact same fraud protection. God, man, if you are going to write for something like CNN Money, at least do a modicum of research and look at Visa's website. They have a zero liability policy that extends to credit card and debit card users. If someone uses your debit card fraudulently, you are not liable for one dime of it. If someone uses your credit card fraudulently, you are not liable for one dime of it. Has the exact same fraud protection. So, you millennials, we can't have you being responsible because then we wouldn't be able to make fun of you, says CNN Money. Well, that's the indirect statement here. I mean, they're chiding them for being wary of spending money they don't have, when most of us would look at them and say that's wisdom. But not CNN Money. Well, not at least this writer. And it got past the editor, if there is one. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. This is your favorite theme hour, America, the Millionaire Theme Hour. We're going to do a Millionaire Theme Hour this hour, which means we're going to talk to millionaires and ask them how they did it. Because there's a whole bunch of lies out there being spread in the political sector, and people with agendas to be socialists and communists talking about how that America is ruined and you cannot become a millionaire anymore in America, and wealth inequality, and the little man can't get ahead, so you need to elect me president because I'll fix your life, which is all a bunch of crap. Trump is not going to fix your life, and Hillary's not going to fix your life. Neither one of them are. They're not. And the people that thought Obama was going to fix their life, they're vastly disappointed right now because he didn't fix their life. Turns out it was a lie. You have to fix your life. And in that, in this political crap that is spread around is that somehow you've done something wrong if you become wealthy. You must have been a crook. The only way you can become wealthy is you must inherit the money. The only way you become healthy, people that are the worst givers in the world are all rich people, which is actually the opposite of the truth. You got to be a rock star or an NFL or NBA player to be a millionaire. Not true. And so we debunk those lies that are out there in the culture by bringing on actual real millionaires occasionally and ask them about themselves and how they got to be worth $1 million. Now, also, stupid politicians say stuff like, if you make $1 million a year, well, that's making $1 million a year is not a millionaire, doofus. A millionaire is when you have $1 million net worth or greater. And your net worth is an accounting function defined as what you own minus what you owe. Your assets minus your liabilities. When that equals $1 million, you're a millionaire. And if you own a house that's worth $900,000 and you have $300,000 in your 401k and you don't have any debt, then you have a $1.2 million net worth. That's how it works. You add up what you own, subtract what you owe, and if that equals $1 million, you're a millionaire. Some people are millionaires and don't even feel like they're millionaires because it's really, a lot of them most of them don't have opulent lifestyles. Now, if you get up over $10 million net worth, sometimes you start to see some of their wealth. But most of them are very nonplussed. So we're going to take calls from millionaires this hour and teach you with their lives how you can become a millionaire. It's that simple. Glenn's going to start us off in Oklahoma City. Hey, Glenn, how are you?
Oh, man, better than I deserve, Dave.
Good. So what's your net worth, sir?
My wife and I are worth $5.5 million.
Very cool. And what is that primarily invested in? What are the big chunks?
Yeah, 75%, of course, is in stocks and mutual funds. Part of it in the IRA and part of it just in other money that we can get to without penalty. 20% in real estate and right now about 5% in cash.
Okay. And so what's like your home worth as an example?
About $500,000.
Okay, cool. And what's been your income throughout your working lifetime average or range or something?
Yeah, it's probably, about $140,000 a year for the last 30 years.
Okay, cool. And how much of this $5.5 million did you inherit?
The only money that I inherited was when my father passed about 9 years ago. He had a life insurance policy, and proceeds from that were about $250,000 to me.
Okay, but you were already a millionaire by then, weren't you?
Yeah. So it was just, just a little bit extra he gave us.
Yeah, gotcha. And how old are you now, you and your wife?
I'm 56, and my wife is 52.
Okay, very cool. And what has been your career in your working lifetime?
So I was a drilling engineer for an oil company. Started out as a roughneck, working on the rig, and then went back to university. And then we lived all over the world and came back to Oklahoma here about a year ago to be close to our children. My wife is a pharmacist, but she worked very little because she stayed home, took care of the children mostly, and then when we were overseas, she wasn't able to work that much.
Gotcha. Well, and what was your degree in then? Engineering or chemical engineering or?
Petroleum engineering.
Petroleum engineering. Okay. All right. Cool. And what was your GPA?
3.4, I believe, overall.
Okay. And how much of this wealth was caused by you borrowing money to invest?
We never borrowed any money to invest like in the stock market.
Mm-hmm.
I think one time we bought a rent house. When we were in Canada, we bought a rent house. And we borrowed money to do that. Mm-hmm. Actually, Dave, I a couple of years ago, I did the stupid thing. I bought my house with the cheap and got a mortgage so that I could, quote, get the better return in the market.
Mm-hmm.
And, that didn't work out so well. So so debt has paid very little,
Gotcha.
played very little part in it.
Gotcha. Okay. What about giving? What has been your giving patterns?
So, of course, we're Christians, so we've tithed. When I was making $4 an hour, I was tithing, and, now we're still tithers. We've supported the same missionaries for 30 years and, give to our family, of course, to meet their needs. And then we funded a scholarship in my father's name that's perpetual, so that it's even if we never give any more to it, it'll keep going. And so,
what's the most expensive pair of jeans you ever bought?
$100.
Okay, cool. And how many brand new cars did you buy prior to having at least $1 million net worth?
Before having $1 million prior, probably I bought 8 new cars total in my life. Prior to being a millionaire, probably 4 or 5 of those.
Okay, so you bought new cars. Okay, cool. All right. And how many nonfiction books do you read a year?
Oh, I tried to read a couple a month, so I'd say 24. I got a list of books, that I have read and need to read still. But, so a couple a month.
Not counting Dave Ramsey books, what's the best book you've read in the last 12 months?
Oh, man, the Founding Fathers on Leadership. It's about George Washington and those guys.
Good.
And, Yeah, and then of course, failing forward or intentional living by Maxwell.
Yeah, I love Maxwell. He's going to be at our Entree Summit in the spring. So very cool. Well, Glenn, you and your wife are great American heroes. You've lived the dream. Do you think that if somebody starting out today was working a roughneck, they could work their way up like you have?
Oh yeah, I mean it's it's the pay yourself first, right? Tithe and then put money aside and then live on the rest. Live below your means and delay gratification and
so it can still be done. Well, it's an honor to talk to you, sir. Thank you for calling in and participating in our Millionaire Theme Hour. $5.5 million net worth, never made over averaged $140,000 income. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.
You can do this. That really is the message. Whether you've got $270,000 in student loan debt or $27,000, whether you've got a $50,000 income or a $500,000 income. Amanda is in Washington, D.C. Hi, Amanda. How are you?
Hi. It's such a pleasure to talk to you.
You too. What's up?
So I've got kind of an unusual situation. 14 years ago, I attended college, and like most kids, their parents say they'll pay for a chunk, and my parents did, which was very kind of them, and then I would assume the rest. My rest came out to about $45,000, which was a hard realization when I got done, and I'm actually still not done, unfortunately. But so my parents got divorced, and my mom assumed the student loan.
The $45,000 student loan?
No, she kept her. She assumed what my parents were going to jointly pay.
Oh, a parent plus loan.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So my
how much
husband and I
was
have
that?
been doing about 20.
Okay.
So that was their cap for me, and I thought that was very, very generous.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took on the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
So my husband and I have paid on about $17,000 down from the start, and we've been doing Financial Peace for 2 years and just kind of, praising the program. We've even taught the program, and we love it. It's just been such a blessing. So every time we have a little bit of success, she reminds me that she still has one of my student loans, and that once we get done with ours, we should probably start sending her money. And
have you ever responded and said, Mom, that wasn't what you told me we were going to do?
Yes, and she says because finances have changed, she feels that it's unfair that we wouldn't help her after we become debt-free. And it's a lot of emotional chaos because my husband and I are fighting hard to get out from under these. This is the last bit. We've got about $30,000, and we know by September.
What is your household income?
My husband makes $117,000, and I homeschool our boys.
Okay, and what does your mom make?
Honestly, I'm not 100% sure. I think it's around $30,000 a year.
Okay, and what does your dad make?
He is out of the picture completely and does not assist with anything.
I know. I got that part, but he also was in on the promise to pay this.
Yes. She refuses to be in contact with him.
Do you know what he makes? Do you not have any contact with him?
No. It's been over 10 years since we've had any contact.
Okay.
Unfortunately, yeah.
That's okay. I mean, it's not okay. I'm sorry, but I mean...
Oh, no, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here's the thing. Your mom is emotionally unreasonable because she's broke.
Okay.
She's breaking her word. Okay. You didn't make a contract with her when you were 24 years old that said, I will pay you, Mom, thank you for the generosity of agreeing to pick up $20,000 of this, but if it ever gets bad, you let me know and I'll pay it. That was never said.
Yeah, and I mean we're we have been extremely diligent with the 45. We're whittling it down as fast as we can.
Yeah, I know. I got that. And so the thing is this. If you give your mom $20,000 to pay this off, it'll be in a lump sum. It will not go to your mother. It will go direct to the student loan, and it will be a little later from now when you're in really good shape and able to do that without any strain, because this is a charitable gift.
Okay.
It's not an obligation.
I really appreciate that. It's been extremely stressful.
Well, the reason is she's a travel agent for guilt trips.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't the only place she violates boundaries.
Oh, yeah, there's other places.
Yeah. She just tramples all over fences whenever she wants, and when it serves her well, whether it's with the grandkids or whatever it is. I mean, she's not a person.
Mm-hmm.
She's not a person who has good boundaries. And the problem is this: when someone feels entitled to walk on your property, you follow me? That's a boundary, right?
Yeah.
To cut across your yard, when someone feels entitled to do that, as if it's public ground, and then you tell them they can't, then they usually react pretty poorly.
Yes.
And so
it creates a lot of strain.
Yeah, you can expect her, but listen, the way she reacts is her problem. It's not your problem.
Okay.
Because basically, here's the truth. From what you told me, if you told me something wrong, then something's different. But from what you told me, your mom made a promise that now she's breaking because she's broke.
Yes.
And she's trying to make it out like it's your fault, and like you're a bad daughter or a bad person or ungrateful or something else if you don't give her money.
Yeah, and she wants us to pay on the interest to get the creditors off her back. And after taking your course, we're like, it's just basically burning money. And my husband works hard.
Now, if you guys choose to give her a $20,000 gift and pay this loan off, you'll do it in a lump sum and you'll pay it in full after you have your emergency fund in place.
Okay.
But it's not in your baby step. This is not a baby step 2 because it's not a personal obligation. Okay. Just because she feels like it's an obligation of yours doesn't make it an obligation of yours.
Yeah, after our loans are paid off, we want to start attacking retirement and stuff like that because we're behind.
Well, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And your husband's he's got a good career, and your mom doesn't make much money. She's broke. So if you want to help her, that would be the place to help her, baby step 3B and beyond. But in the meantime, I don't think you're ever going to make her happy. Ever.
Okay.
Even when you pay this. Because she's got
it'll be something else.
Yeah, she's got something else going on all the time. So just get over the illusion that, if I just pay this, that this stress will go away. No, because she's going to come up with something else. Okay. Y'all are rich. You ought to send me $200 a month just because the poor old lady can't get by over here. You'd think if I had a daughter that made all this money that she'd be grateful. And she'll remember when I took care of her. You'd think that. Oh, my Lord. Mm-hmm. This is if that's not how she's saying it, it's close.
There's a lot of health issues and there's things that should be taken care of that aren't, and a lot of self-indulgences that shouldn't be happening. And we're definitely sacrificing to, for the betterment of our family.
What I might do is I might say, Mom, I can't do this right now. And we've talked about it. And what we decided to do is after we get out of debt and get our emergency fund in place, then we're going to pray about it and discuss it then. In the meantime, what I can do to help you is I can get you through Financial Peace University.
We've offered it, and she refuses to take it.
Yeah. So, Mom, listen, I can go ahead and tell you that until you go through this class, we will pay none of this ever, under any circumstances. Not because I'm trying to sell the class, okay? But because she needs to clean up her freaking mess, not counting this loan. It's good for her. So I would tell her, listen, you can just say, I'm not going to do it at all, ever. I'm not going to do it until baby step 3B, but I'm not going to do it at all ever if you don't go through the class. I'm going to let you wallow in it. You made the promise, and you're going to have to keep the promise. I'm sorry, Mom, I love you, but you and I are not in agreement on this situation. And so I'm going to send you a copy of the book by Henry Cloud. It's called Boundaries, and you desperately need to read it. You will laugh and cry while you're reading this book, and you will highlight virtually every page because it reads your all tea leaves, without a doubt. Thanks for calling in. Starting off this hour is going to be Alan in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Hi, Alan. How are you?
Hi, Dave. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Okay. So I'm a senior in college right now. We'll be graduating in a couple months. And I guess just since I've started watching your show a lot, I've been looking into budgeting and, looking at my finances and stuff and how I'm going to pay off the student loans that I've taken out while I've been in college. And while doing that, I found out that my mom has been in charge of all my finances, and I found out that she's been taking a lot of the money that we've been taking out for loans for, her own expenses and not stuff that's been related to me at all. So I guess I just wanted to know if you had any advice for me, how I can kind of go about this, figuring out how I can pay this back, and also how I can deal with the situation and not totally ruin my relationship with my mother.
Wow. So how much of your money has she stolen?
I estimate about $10,000 to $12,000.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And how much is your total student loan debt?
$25,000.
Okay. And so the way you grew up in this dysfunctional household, if you were to sit down with her and say, hey, why'd you steal $12,000 of my money? What would she say?
Right. No, my mom has been really good, overall. It's been really weird lately.
Except for the part where she stole $12,000 from you, but okay.
Right, yeah. When I do try to talk to her, she gets emotional. No, she's really been struggling with money lately, and I understand that. But just the thing is, she hasn't, we haven't had this conversation that, she's using money through my student loans or anything like that. So that's where the major issue is.
Okay. Have you taken all of your financial control away from her?
I have not yet, no.
Okay. Well, that's the first thing you have to do is stop the bleeding. You need to shut down any account that has her name on it or has access to her in any way, and you need to open your own accounts, sir, and be a full-on grown-up and handle your own money at this point. You don't have a choice. And so, you've got to limit her access to your stuff because she's not trustworthy. I'm so sorry. This is so heartbreaking for you, and it puts you in such a extremely emotional position when somebody violates your boundaries like this. This is financial child abuse is what it is, okay? It happens more often than it should. I run into scumballs who open credit cards in their kids' names and trash their kids' credit, steal their own children's identity, in other words, because they somehow feel entitled to steal someone else's money. And you've got to get pretty twisted in the brain to be able to do that. It's as if you had a shoebox of $25,000 sitting on your bed with your name on it, and it was your money, and she reached in there and took half of it. But she doesn't see it that way. Somehow in her brain, she's figured out that this is okay. It ain't okay. So, the only thing, one extreme is to press criminal charges. The other extreme is just forget it and pay it.
Yeah.
In between would be her promising to repay, but she's out of control. That's a promise that won't be kept.
Mm-hmm.
So you probably are left with two pretty extreme options. And one is to just say, I got $25,000 in student loan debt, and I'm coming out of college, I'm a senior, and I'm going to go pay it off. Or you can look at prosecuting her. The problem with prosecuting someone criminally is the money's already gone, and it doesn't make them have the money to give you money back. The money's just gone. It's just gone. And you're going to have a real hard time legally getting the student loans removed from your name due to theft. That's a very difficult legal set of hoops. Probably cost you more than $12,000 to do it.
Yeah.
In legal fees. So I'm thinking you're eating this, but except to the extent that you can get something out of it for her, out of her. So I don't know, man. I'm sorry. My brain can't wrap around somebody doing this to their own freaking kid. So I'm trying to help you here and not just choke her.
I mean, she has admitted that she's done wrong and she owes me money. It's just I'll ask for it or I'll want to talk about it, and she just says she doesn't have the money. doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down with her really calmly but very clearly and say, number one, if you ever use my name in any way to put money in your pocket again, I will criminally prosecute you. You need to tell her that because she needs to stop, because she'll steal your ID too and open up credit cards. Yeah. I mean, because she's desperate and she's a little crazy. I mean, people don't steal from their own kids who ain't crazy, man. I mean, really. Think about it. So, you know, she's probably got good attributes all than that. I know I'm talking about your mother, but I mean, you need to look at this realistically. So the first part of the conversation is, never again, Mom. The second part of the conversation is, I'm going to forgive this. I'm going to pay the debt. I'm going to forget about it. You pay me back if you can, but the only way I'm going to do that is you get control of your life, and you're going through Financial Peace University. And I will pay for it, and I will give it to you so you can give it to her. Because she needs to learn how to handle money so she doesn't keep stealing.
Yeah.
Because I don't know where her theft is going to end if we don't. It's because she's going to end up in jail.
Right.
Because if you do this with a bank, they prosecute you. You know, if you do this if you do this with check kiting, they prosecute you. This is not a game. I mean, this is not a family affair. This is criminal activity. So for her sake, we got to get her under control because she's completely spiraling here. If you can, and then I think realistically, you say, Mom, you pay me back all this money, and just leave it on her to do that. But then you have a low emotional expectation that that's going to occur because practically thinking, I don't think you're ever going to see it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is your degree field that you're studying?
Marketing.
Good for you. Okay.
Yeah.
And you graduated in May?
I have a job set up. I have a job set up for when I graduate. I'm going to start working right away.
Making what?
Making pretty good money, so.
Making what? Making how much?
$48,000.
How much?
$48,000.
$48,000. Good. You have any other debt other than this $25,000?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Well, you're a sharp young man, and you have a story to tell your grandkids about how we don't behave in this family any longer, because you're going to be able to clean this up. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to put both of you into Financial Peace University, you and Mom, if she'll promise to go and promise to repay you, but have a low expectation of the second part occurring. Hold on, Kelly's going to pick up. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Luis starts us off in Atlanta. Luis, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me.
How's it going?
Oh, good. Thank you.
How can we help today?
So, rent is really expensive.
True.
And I'm really considering van life, and I wanted to know your opinion and any tips or
Where do you?
help.
Are you going to park it down by a river?
I'm sorry?
Are you going to park it down by a river?
Whatever I can.
You're going to have to Google that reference later.
Dude, don't move into a van down by the river. Why are you considering van life?
Why are the options either continue? Well, you can't continue to live where you live. Rent is too expensive. But the other option is move into a van. How did you get to that option?
So I just saw it on Instagram, and I don't know. I thought it was a good idea.
Did someone on Instagram say it was a good idea? They said, hey, life hack, can't afford rent, live in a van.
Or they just, I've seen them. Hey, listen, Lewis,
Or was this like the influencers who make it look really cool?
Yeah, dude, George, they're amazing. Tell me if I'm wrong, Lewis. Like, they take these old vans and they strip them completely down, and dude, they make them so rad. And they take these awesome photos, like on a beach, and it's all.
Those people have a lot of money. They can afford rent.
And they live in why is it? Let me ask you this: what's so great about where you live that you'd be willing to stay there in a van instead of move to another town or
get a
community
roommate
or job where the rent is less?
I guess family's here, you know.
Okay, so I love my family. I love them, and all my family lives in the same state. They all live in Texas, And then I got an opportunity to go make different types of money and have a professional, like, so I moved because I had to. And I still get to see my family. I love them. I still get to see them regularly, but I had to move.
Mm-hmm.
So, Luis,
you're not buying it.
What is your rent? Let's just get to the numbers.
$1,200.
Okay, are you living alone?
With a girlfriend.
Okay. Are you splitting the rent?
No, not yet.
So she's not paying, and you are?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we got 17 more questions now. What's your income?
I make $30,000 a month.
$30,000 a month?
I'm sorry, $30,000 a year, $2,800 a month.
Okay.
I was gonna say, bro, why are you calling us?
I was like, this doesn't matter.
And what job are you doing? Because I want that job.
Okay, so your rent is almost half of is that your take-home pay, the $2,800 after taxes? Is that what ends up in your bank?
I take it all because I work for a private contractor. Yep.
Okay, so here's one option. Hey, girlfriend, we can't live together, and I'm gonna go get a roommate. And then your rent just went down to $600, and now we can breathe.
All right.
There's one option, right? If you just didn't even want to move. The other option is, where else can I live cheaper? And that may not be super viable in your area. You may only get down to $1,000, which is still too much based on your income. So the second question becomes, how can I increase my income to where I can afford the rent?
Okay.
So what kind of work are you doing right now?
HVAC sheet metal installation.
Okay, and you're making.
How are you making $30,000?
Are you? What's your actual salary? Is it about 40-something thousand?
No, it is 30 something. Yeah.
Okay.
And you're a 1099?
Yeah.
Are you putting money back for taxes, or are you going to be in the hole for taxes too?
No, I'll hold it and then pay it whenever.
So you have the money to pay the taxes come April?
Probably not in full. Yeah.
Dude, listen, you have too good of a skill and it's such a high demand area. What's keeping you from going to work for an HVAC company and making $85,000 a year plus benefits?
I don't have my high school diploma.
Do you have certification, or you can weld?
No, nothing. I just started. I'm 20 years old.
Okay.
This is my first lease, ever. So I noticed the money is just too much.
Yeah.
And what other debt do you have?
I just have one credit card.
Okay. Is there a balance on there?
Yeah.
How much?
$900.
Okay. And how much money do you have in the bank?
Right now, $400 plus $900 in savings.
You got $400 plus $900.
Yeah.
Okay. So $1,000 is your starter emergency fund, which then leaves you, what's that? $300 on top of that to start paying off this credit card. So by tomorrow, we can get $1,000 in the bank, and your credit card debt is down to $600. That's our next plan of attack: is paying off that credit card. We're cutting it up. We're closing the account. No more credit card. We're going to start using a debit card. Do you have one of those?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That is plan number 2. Start using the debit card. Now we're debt-free, and we have $1,000 in the bank. You tracking with me?
Okay.
Then we're going to continue saving an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses, not income, just expenses. So start getting on a monthly budget. I'm going to gift you 1 year of Every Dollar Premium. That is our budgeting tool. You can set up a budget within minutes right there on your phone, on your computer, and it's going to help you pay attention to every single one of those $2,800 coming in every month, and you've got to start making a plan for it and stretching it. And part of that is making hard decisions, like saying, hey, I can't live with you, and I can't afford rent, so I'm going to have to move. I need to get a roommate, and I need to get my costs down in order to survive.
And Louis, did you grow up with a lot of money in your home, or did you grow up with a family that struggled financially?
Struggled financially.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up in the projects.
Okay.
Puerto Rico.
Awesome. So, man, I'm so proud of you, man. You're hustling, you're getting it done. One of the biggest shifts somebody who grows up in poverty can make in a mindset is this idea of how do I survive right now, which is I want to move to a van. That's a how do I survive right now. To where do I want to be in 5 years and what do I have to start doing right now to get there? What certifications do I have to get? How do I get into a local community college? How do I start grinding my way towards where I want to be in 5 years? That's a totally different mindset, and that's the road we want you to be on, okay, my brother?
And if you've got to get an extra job right now, if you've got to get 2 roommates, do whatever you have to do to get that financial stability under you so you can really start to build wealth and break this generational poverty. We are so proud of you, man.
Washington Post is reporting that Fidelity Investments, with its quarterly retirement analysis, has discovered the same thing that we already knew from the Ramsey study of millionaires done a few years back, the largest study of millionaires ever done. The title of the article is Move Over Crypto. A record number of workers are becoming millionaires with their boring 401ks and IRAs.
I love to hear this news. The more boring, the more excited I get as an actual investment strategy. So here's what it says. Meet the newly minted millionaires next door. They didn't put all their money into Microsoft-type stock that made them rich. They didn't take a chance on speculating in crypto with its crazy volatility or start a business that they sold to some billionaire. No, these are government workers, civil servants, educators, military folks, managers, coworkers clocking in just like you. And many never earned six-figure salaries, which we found in our millionaire study. 1/3 never had a six-figure household income in a single working year. And so in its quarterly retirement analysis, Fidelity reported that the number of IRAs and 401k millionaires hit an all-time high. That's impressive.
There it is.
And not shocking.
401k millionaires. By translation, they had over $1 million in their 401k. They may or may not be actual millionaires, depending on how much debt they have. But because you're an actual millionaire is what you own minus what you owe is your net worth, your assets minus your liabilities. But assuming that they don't have a bunch of other debt running around, they've got over $1 million in their 401k, they very likely are millionaires. And that's what we found. We found that the typical millionaire, it took them 12 to 15 years to get there. 89% did not inherit the money that made them a millionaire. Did not. 9 out of 10 did not. That's actual facts, not your broke brother-in-law who votes left-wing's opinion. This is actual facts by actual airtight research. Okay? So 89% did not inherit the money that made them a millionaire. And we can actually prove that with the largest study of millionaires ever done. Now, having said that, then, we say the average is 12 to 15 years to get there. We had 2 primary components to their net worth that caused them to get their first $1 to $5 million of net worth.
One of those was a paid-for home, which we found that the average millionaire pays off their home in 11 years, and the other is their retirement account. And so when you add those things together, when you've got a paid-for home and you've invested 15% of your household income into 401ks and IRAs, it's amazing how quickly you get there. In the span of your lifetime, it's a blip. And 79% of millionaires in our research reach millionaire status through their employer-sponsored retirement plans. So This is not a theory.
It's pretty simple, guys. Pretty simple. And it is kind of like the article says. It's a bit boring. There's really nothing you get to brag about to your friends.
There's no adrenaline rush.
Yeah, you're you're playing golf or you're fishing with your buddies. You don't get to brag and say you did something really brilliant. All you did was just steadily invest and pay off your house. Ding, ding.
Then I can't watch crypto over the weekend 24/7 go up and down, which Bitcoin just had another crash.
No.
I know.
Not
I'm sorry
again.
to hurt your feelings, Dave.
Oh, I hate it when I'm right.
Do you?
Not really. That was sarcasm.
I sensed a little bit of that.
I actually don't want anybody to lose money.
No.
I'm not wishing for someone to get hurt. That is the truth.
But it's the crypto bros who think Dave's out of touch.
And they have been wearing me out, too. So giving me a hard time, like I'm an idiot all over social media. Because, once you join the crypto bandwagon, you're like...
Oh, yeah.
It's like you've...
We talked about this at the Building Wealth event, Dave. The people who are into crypto are really into crypto. They're obsessed. They're trying to sell all their buddies on crypto. And so we came to the conclusion that cryptocurrency is just Mary Kay for young men.
But you don't get the pink Cadillac. That's upsetting.
No pink Cadillac.
Maybe in the metaverse they have a digital version.
Oh, a virtual Cadillac.
You can get an NFT of a Cadillac.
Yeah.
You can get a
which
picture
means
of it.
You don't really have a Cadillac.
Well, it's a virtual
I
ownership.
know, but you don't really have one. I'm
It's a
just saying
sense of
virtual
ownership.
means not really.
The next thing, Dave, this is
If
going
I
to make you
virtually
mad.
send my wife flowers on the anniversary, I don't get anything. I'm just saying. She's not going to like this. It's not going to be a happy day at Ramsey, okay? I virtually sent you flowers, darling. That means I almost did it. Yeah.
I think the next trend is going to be NFT timeshares. It's a sense of ownership of a sense of ownership. In the metaverse, you buy the timeshare. So we can both live next to Snoop Dogg for one weekend at a time. This is not a far future, Dave. I think I'm a fortune teller.
Oh,
Y'all.
this is a redundancy department.
We're losing our minds.
Oh, we're going to get an NFT timeshare, a sense of ownership of a sense of ownership.
That's how that works.
That is what the timeshare people tell you. You have a sense of ownership, which means you don't really have ownership, but you kind of can get a whiff of it.
Yes, a whiff. I like that.
A whiff.
Oh, man. This is the culture.
Oh,
This is what we're up against, Dave.
Lord Jesus, help us. Oh, you're going to do an NFT timeshare next door to Snoop Dogg.
I lose brain cells every time I read headlines like that.
Well, if you were next door to Snoop Dogg, you might be.
That's true. Can you get secondhand smoke in the metaverse? I'm going to Google that.
Can I get virtual secondhand?
That is a Google search waiting to happen.
Oh.
What a time to be alive. Did you ever think in your lifetime this would be a reality? Because you've seen a lot of stupid stuff in your day over 30 years, but it's getting out of control, even for you.
Hey, man, no, I didn't have any idea. This is, I actually didn't think the internet was going to work. So
you were one of those. You went, this is a fad.
It's like, you want to spend $5,000 and build a website? What? This is when it was first starting, with dial-up, right? 14.4 hookup, right?
I remember those days. I wore out those AOL free trial discs.
Hey, Dave, you got that internet? Yeah, I got that internet.
And you had to either use the phone or use the internet. See, I'm not that young,
it's like
guys.
your fax.
Yeah.
You could fax stuff.
I walked
before there was
both
email.
ways.
Yeah, man. When I got in the real estate business in 1978, we had these things called fax machines. We were members of ERA, Electronic Realty Associates. And we would send over this magic machine black and white pictures of a listing in another city. And it would print off. Took it about 4 minutes to print one page. And it was an electronic transfer.
And people were buying real estate based off of that?
Oh, no, they would agree to come look at that piece of real estate with you. They were not dumb enough to buy it off of that.
That's what's happening
The dumb
today.
enough to buy it off of that happened later. And they're coming from other cities where they're so desperate to buy a house. I haven't even seen it. I'll buy it.
Sight unseen, no inspection, no appraisal, don't care, $100,000 over asking.
Yeah. I'm just in a bidding war.
We've lost our minds.
Yeah.
Do they teach critical thinking still in school? Is that it? There's no class on that, right?
No, we don't teach thinking anywhere in the United States. We don't think anymore. See, we used to have like arguments and debates because we didn't have Google to solve it.
Oh,
you can't
that's
have
true.
a good fight now because somebody Googles the answer.
It's me. He's talking about me. You and Rachel are fighting, and I go, guys, it was 2018. And you go, we were having fun arguing. Why'd you have to go and ruin it?
Yeah, because Rachel and I do have fun arguing. So if you want to be a newly minted millionaire, according to this article, it is backing up the details that are in the book, Baby Steps Millionaires, and in the study that is outlined in the back of the book, Baby Steps Millionaires. Now, if you want to be a billionaire, it's a different formula. You will not become a billionaire with your 401k. It's mathematically impossible. But a billion is 1,000 million.
It's a lot of millions.
So, just in case you were wondering, you're 1,000th of a billionaire when you're a millionaire.
Wow.
You're just a peon.
You're not even close at that point.
Yeah, you're just a peon at that
But you can have a great life as a millionaire. You don't need to be a billionaire. That's the good news.
A greater life than if you don't.
There it is. Perspective. That's what we needed.
There we go.
Thank you for using your critical thinking skills. You still have a few brain cells left, Dave. Turns out.
I'm worried about this sense of ownership next to Snoop Dogg with secondhand virtual smoke. I'm just worried about this whole line of thinking, George, has got me upset.
Well, the only way to make money there is if you're the one selling it. So get to selling some NFTs, Dave.
I'm going to have to...
Hard pass.
Hard pass. There you go. Brought to you by Xander Insurance. Compare rates from top term life insurance companies in seconds at Xander.com.
Quick question. I am just curious. My financial advisor is recommending that I open a whole life plus 100 life insurance policy.
Of course.
And so I would just love y'all's wisdom and input on that.
Well, here's the simple wisdom. Fire them.
Okay.
You don't have a financial advisor. You have an insurance salesman posing as a financial advisor.
Yeah, so I guess the situation is they are recommending to open this to supplement income if the market is down.
No, we know all this, Jake.
No, we know how the scam works. We're just telling you it's a scam.
Yeah, so saving you a little bit of time, anything you tell us that they told you, we've heard.
Yeah.
So George is feisty today. Very feisty.
I just hate...
I believe you ate
Here's
and
the thing,
left
Jake.
no crumbs. Is that what the kids say?
Yeah, yes, ate and left no crumbs. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Here's
I'm
the
trying,
deal.
folks. I'm really trying.
I hate nothing more than when people get ripped off. And I'm glad you're catching this before you jumped into it, and we have to tell you, cancel the whole life policy and fire your financial advisor. And so I understand what they're telling you. Here's the key. Any good financial advisor would tell you, you should not mix insurance and investing. If you want to invest, be my guest. If you want insurance, get you some term life insurance. But you should not mix the two. It's a very crappy product. Just the internal cost of this thing could implode eventually because of how expensive it is and how high the commissions are for the insurance agent.
I only recommend term life insurance because it's simple, affordable coverage. And you should get it only from Xander Insurance because they work for you, not the insurance companies. Xander compares all the top term plans to save you money so you don't get ripped off with insurance that they market like a so-called investment. Term from Xander is the only life insurance I would get from my family. It's all I've ever bought and all I've ever recommended. Go to Xander.com or call 800-356-4282.
And so they don't have your best interest at heart. That's the bottom line. And any financial advisor who's worth their salt would tell you, oh, Jake does not need whole life insurance. He needs to invest in XYZ fund. And so they should be, I don't know where you found this person. Is this an old buddy of yours?
It's mutual, one of their sister companies.
Okay. I would say no thank you, and I'm going to actually pause, and I'll circle back when the time comes, and then just never circle back. You would do it as politely as you need to, and if you want a trustworthy financial advisor, jump on RamseySolutions.com and click on Trusted Pros, and I can guarantee you they're never going to be pitching you whole life insurance.
You just gave me a great idea for a segment that James will never approve.
Hit me. Pitch it.
We could do old school shock jock kind of radio, but nothing shocking, and we would
just
be
the
on
part?
with Jake. Well, hear me out.
Okay.
We would be on with Jake right now, and we would have James and the fancy, they're all smart back there, and they could dial up this guy's advisor.
Oh, we hear
and
it
the guy
live.
and the guy answers. Jake's on the call. We're over here, and Jake goes, "Hey, so and so, listen, I'm getting back to you on the proposal. I got a couple guys with me on here." And you and I now jump in and we go, "Hey, so-and-so, it's Ken and George from The Ramsey Show, and we just had a great talk with Jake, and Jake has authorized us to say this to you. No thanks." And we hang up the phone.
That's it. We do it for him.
It's not ugly.
Yeah.
It's not unkind.
I'm sure
But you
he's a
just
good
said
person.
no thanks, and I like it's no thanks.
I'm down, Ken. I'm down. Let's do it.
Do you like that?
I love it.
It's not unkind, and we're not trying to be rude. But it's a kind of you're fired, but it's like, by the way, you're on The Ramsey Show, and no thanks.
I'm just impressed James liked one of your ideas. You know how rare that is?
Well, to be fair to James, my
what a day.
ideas are not necessarily very easy for him to like.
Ken's eaten food on the show several times, so I'm
That's
pretty
true.
sure I don't turn down Ken's ideas that much.
I know. I'm actually making James out to be, he's very nice. He's one of the nicest people on the
So
planet. No, I thought it was fun, James. I really didn't think it was a serious pitch, but if we could do that, I do think it would be entertaining. Because here's why I'm saying this. Jake calls. Here's what's going on. How many times do we get that call? in a given month about whole life.
Probably 5 or 6 at least.
But this is an industry that still thrives.
Yes.
They're still out there. And boy, if you've ever heard Dave talk about whole life, holy smokes. I mean, when we get a whole life
nice
call,
about it.
oh my gosh. When he calls, I put a helmet on.
I
And
think
when somebody
whole life
calls,
hurt Dave as a child. There's that level of anger and trauma involved.
anyway, no thanks, Jake. George gave you, I like those, very kind, because you're a classy guy.
Yeah, I don't
No
want to be a
thanks.
jerk.
No thanks. That's our new thing. No thanks.
If anyone depends on your income, you need affordable term life. Never cash value insurance. Visit Xander.com today for quotes.
Dennis joins us in Wichita. Dennis, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
How can we help today?
I have actually, it's my daughter has a situation. She's 17 years old. Her mom got her a checking account when she was 16, and she's been working and putting money away and being very responsible. Well, a couple days ago, she got a message on Instagram from somebody she did not know, saying that they enjoyed some of her pictures and they wanted to use her pictures and they would pay her for it. Well, what they ended up doing was they sent her a check via email, said, okay, for $3,000, we're going to pay you for the pictures. You keep $500 and send us back that money when you deposit it, the $2,500 through Zelle. So she did that. I know I would have saw it instantly, but I told her, but things happen. Well, anyway, she didn't think anything of it. She went ahead, and as soon as the account said that money was there, she sent it through Zelle to this individual. And then they tried it again for another $2,500. And then my ex-wife got a text message saying that the account was overdrawn and there's suspicious activity on it. And so they went in, they filed a police report with the local police. They sent it over to the bank's asset protection. So my question is basically this. They're saying that they got the second one stopped, but the first one, she may be on the hook for $3,000, which I kind of agree with, but I kind of don't agree because I thought there should be some better protection on a checking account for a minor, and that's what it was. So we're kind of, what do we do? My thought was just let them sue her for the money, get in front of, this way she gets in front of a judge. They can, at least talk to an impartial person, a judge, and say, hey, this was scammed. We shouldn't be owed this. They didn't do anything to protect this account from fraudulent activities and fraudulent checks, because it's definitely fraudulent.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of, what do we do?
How honest can I be with you?
Perfectly. Go ahead.
All right. I don't know what state you're in, Kansas there. Every state's different. But if I'm a judge and you bring this to me, I'm going to turn around and say, where were the parents of this minor? Because they're ultimately in charge when you open an account like that. And so, yes, a bank should have, if they're going to open up an account for minors, there should be protections and all that. But anything legally always rolls downhill to the parent. Not always, but almost always rolls downhill to the parents or uphill to the parents. And so you can do that. I think this is an extraordinary, expensive, pull your hair out, frustrating, but extraordinary gift for your daughter if y'all frame this right. If you frame it as making this the bank's fault, then you're teaching your daughter that if we make a big mistake and we screw up, even we trying to do right, we thought we'd get this, then there's always somebody else to blame. If you teach your daughter, man, we messed up. You messed up big. I'll split this with you, or you can work it off in this way. It's going to be a very expensive thing to learn. My promise is this never happens again. I just was dealing with somebody who's a friend of mine who's got a college-age kids, was caught up in a sexting thing and a very similar scam via Instagram. And it was a mess, caused a lot of heartache and a lot of police reports. And all that. Here's what I can promise you, that will never happen again, right? And I'm more interested in setting up a 17-year-old with a $3,000 lesson. Usually it's a car wreck or something like that you can learn a lesson like this. Set it up a lesson like this, and this never happens again, than I am about, well, they should have had, man, I personally am not going to go down that road. And if I'm a judge, I'm going to look at you, Dad, or look at your ex-wife and say, where were the parents when this stuff was going on? That's my take on it. George, got a thought?
Yeah, I just keep thinking, man, this could be a expensive road to go down, just fighting this thing in court when we don't even know who this guy is. And so as far as recourse goes, sure, you can report it to Zelle. You can, go after your bank and say, hey, this was fraud, this is legitimate fraud. But at the end of the day, there's a level of stupid tax here where we have to go, okay, red flag number 4,000. If they send me 3,000, but I'm only getting 500, this is a scam. When they overpay. And let me tell you, I fell for this, John. When I was younger, I shipped a pair of shoes on Craigslist to Nigeria because he said it was for his cousin, and I got a PayPal email. He paid extra for the shipping, and I thought, wow, this guy's legit. He really just wanted to send these to his cousin. It was a fake email, and it took a lot of sleuthing to even figure out it was a fake email. But I should have checked my bank account and said, is this money actually there? Is this actually in my PayPal account? And so there's a lot of things we do as teenagers, and there's two people getting scammed these days, older folks and young folks. The people in the middle hopefully know better, but especially young people, they can be susceptible because they're used to Venmo and Zelle. This is in their world. But unless they're mailing me a check and I go to the bank and cash that check, it's fraud.
I know I sound like a gong, George. And, hey, Dennis, I appreciate your vulnerability, and I appreciate you calling and asking. And I know things are challenging because you're parenting in two different households here, this young lady. If you were going to hand a child a smartphone and you're going to give them open access to the internet, to all social media, and let's let them go because they're just kids, and please do your due diligence and look at what is happening to our young people who are involved in this, just having free reign of the internet, free reign of these social media apps, free reign of this is the best case scenario, quite honestly.
Yeah.
That she lost $3,000 and learned a hard lesson. The number of people over my years working at colleges that were caught up with compromising pictures of them that are out that they could never get back, that people were taking their text messages. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Parents, you have to be in your kids' business, especially when they're minors. Well, I don't want to be private. They're 15, they're 17, they're 14, they're 13. Get in their business. Get in their business. We don't let them buy beer. We don't let them buy smokes. We don't let them go to war. We don't let them buy guns because we know that their brains aren't fully formed. Yet we hand them the internet and say, make good choices, right? And there's entire industries that are built on preying on these young folks. Parents, get involved.
Have that conversation and say, here's the ground rules. Also, if anyone asks you for money, wants to give you money, this is a conversation that goes straight to the parents, and we talk about it.
Or be a Luddite and just don't give your kid access to the internet open.
Yeah. John, no one's ever wanted to buy my photos that I post on Instagram. So, and I'm a big deal, John. So I don't know what she got on her Instagram.
No one's ever. I'm not gonna. Oh, you know what? Someone reached out and said they'd like to pay for my pictures of my feet. And that's when I thought,
I'm gonna hard nope on that one.
We're not
John.
gonna be friends.
I hope that was rhetorical, like you're talking about someone else.
No.
Dear Lord. Okay.
And if they're reaching out to, oh God, help us. Parents,
social
get
media.
involved in your kids' lives. Get involved in your kids' lives.
You're not being a helicopter parent. You are being wise.
You're being a caring parent.
Yeah, well, this is not encroaching on their privacy. This is helping them avoid some huge mistakes. A $3,000 mistake.
You've got two little dogs. Do they have their own account?
If they could open a bank account, John, I would make them open one.
No, I'm talking about an Instagram account.
Oh, yeah, one of them's got one. We don't post, though.
Come on,
we're better than that. We gave up on it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Like, it's just you and me
Nobody
and a couple
wants
million
to
people.
see
Are
that.
you being honest? You gave up on it?
100%. You can go check it.
I'm proud of you, George.
Thank you.
I know it's hard.
Social media is hard enough on your own, let alone posting for an animal that can't post for itself. But some good lessons here, John. Social media, I think this is one of these things this generation has to grapple with and go, what's the healthy way to use this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's going to happen more and more.
And more and more and more and more and more. Yeah.
So parents need to have these conversations, set some ground rules, set some boundaries, so that we don't end up with a situation like this.
Yeah.
It's sad.
I hate that for you, brother. I hate that, Dennis. I hate that, man. I hate this for your little girl, too.
I hope she gets the money back somehow. That'd be great. But I've heard with these Zelle scams, it can be really difficult to get your money back. There's not a lot of recourse on this, but if she gets it back, call us up. Let us know. We'll cheer on with you, man.
Brandon is with us in Denver. Hey, Brandon, how are you?
I'm good, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Okay, so this has happened before with my sister. This is basically what it's about. So my sister, I'm 27 years old, and my sister is 46. She'll be 47 in April. And she always seems to have trouble financially. And recently, she asked me for $100, and I'm not sure if she's aware that I know that she owes my mom $800. And I kind of wanted to like offer her advice and help her out, but in my mind, I feel like she's gonna be like, okay, what is this 27-year-old punk trying to school me on anything?
He's the one with the $100 you don't have. That's who he is.
Yeah,
I know. I get it, and it's a little frustrating because I feel like if anyone's asking for money, it should be the other way around. But it's like I don't know exactly how to bring it up to her because I don't want to. I feel like my mom and dad always end up giving her money, and I've always told them like this isn't really helping her. It's more so perpetuating her mismanagement of money, and I guess I just don't know how to go about it without causing a rift between us.
So I want you to reapproach the situation. You did not cause the rift. The rift was thrown at you. All you are doing now is responding to the rift. Okay. And as simple as, no, I'm not going to loan you $100. Thank you, though. Anything after that is you trying to smooth over your boundary, and that's not your responsibility. So there's a simple, peaceful answer. I'm not going to judge the fact that you owe mom. I'm not going to explain stuff to you unless you invite me into that conversation. I'm just going to tell you, no, I'm not going to loan you $100. All
right, John, that's not how this ends, though.
Nope. Then it's like, why not?
Exactly.
You're not just going to.
So, what does he say when she says, well, why not? Because that's exactly what she's going to say.
Yeah. Why
she's
not?
She's an entitled brat.
Oh, you mean you can't even? Yeah, I'm just going to choose not to. And if you want to go down the road of, well, then what? Because this is going to cause a rift between you and me in our relationship, and I'm not going to do that. And this is you drawing a boundary that no one's ever drawn from her. You know what that's going to feel like to her? Abuse. Oh my goodness, hatred, evilness. Here's the thing: you can't control her response to your boundary. You just can't.
Yeah, I guess the thing is like I do feel kind of bad. This was about a week ago. She asked me, and I didn't even respond to her because I'm just like I froze. I'm just like, in my mind, I'm thinking, are you serious right now?
Yeah. Hey, and good for you for not lashing out, for taking a break. Okay, that's wisdom.
Yeah, you're smart, because putting the snark on it that we all want to tell her,
it's not going to be helpful.
Me included. It's not helpful. Okay, it does not help her. So the goal here is to help her.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, John, let me ask you: is there a way that you can couch this? I get that the boundary is simple. No, I'm not able to do that at this time.
Or I'm choosing not to do that.
Or
whatever.
I'm not willing to do that at this time. Okay. Well, why not?
Yeah.
Is it okay to then? Is it productive then to say, what I would choose to do is if you will go through this class, Financial Peace University, that costs $100, I'll pay for it for you.
Yeah.
So that you can learn how to handle money, so you never ask anybody for money again. Because I've watched you struggle, and it breaks my heart.
Yes, and
well, the thing is I know that she, her and her husband, because she does DoorDash on the side, and her husband's the breadwinner, but he makes really good money. And I know I think, hired a financial advisor like months ago, but apparently, obviously, didn't really do anything.
Or the financial advisor is an idiot. One of the two.
Yeah,
or that
financial advisor has nothing to do with cash flow, right? It has to do with other things. Here's the thing: when she has to finds herself in a situation where she has to go to her brother, her 20-year younger brother, and ask for money, she's already if not already, she is in dangerously close to the fight or flight place anyway. Something has come up that has pushed her to this area, and then you say no, and every alarm she's got is going to start ringing. And so, while what Dave said is, if you can sit down and have a cup of coffee with her and say, "Can we talk in person?" Yes, I care about you a lot. This has come up a lot. I know you've been with mom and dad. I want to see this. I want to help. $100 is not going to help. It might bail you out of a thing you think you have. But in that moment, usually people can't hear me. That's why I always recommend wait to be invited in. If you want my money, here's what it's going to come with. You're going to sit down and you have to have a cup of coffee with me. So maybe that's the angle. I'll give you $100, but you have to meet me in person, and you're going to have to listen to what I have to say. And that may be where you handle it.
Well, that's a little bit that's kind of I'm visiting back because I'm originally from Maryland. I'm not from Colorado.
Yep.
So I'm visiting home soon, and that's kind of something I'm a little nervous about visiting because I don't know what to see her, but I think it's also kind of a good opportunity, as you're saying, to kind of sit down with her and talk to her because it's been going on, I think, ever since she got married for like 18 years. This has been going on because apparently she used to have a better credit score than my dad. So, and now her credit score is like really not good.
Yeah, she's got bigger things going on, and maybe that's the angle is you sit down with her and say, I want to take you to breakfast or take you to lunch, and then say,
I'm really worried about your life.
You asking your little brother for what's going on? Are you okay? And when she says, what do you mean? I'm fine. You say, you just asked your little brother for $100. You're not okay. And that becomes an angle that is going to give you permission into speaking to her and what's going on in her soul, right?
But the end of the story is, regardless of her reaction or her choice to respond in any of these conversations, under no circumstances do you give her $100, except in the event that she is going to plug into things that cause her to start winning with money so that she never has to ask for it again.
Yeah, that's kind of my angle. That's been my angle for a while because I even get upset with my parents because she's asked me for money before, and I only gave her money one time. She's probably asked me for money like 5 times, and I said no all the other 4 times. The very first time I said yes. All the other times I said no. She even asked me if I could co-sign for her daughter for a car, and I said absolutely not.
Good for you.
Know all about that.
So this is long term. This has been going on for a while. So I think this 5th time she's asked you, and it's a small.
And I think the other thing you do a John Deloney and say, this, by the way, is the last time we're going to have this discussion.
Right. This is it.
Because the next time you call me for money, I'm just going to tell you no, and you're going to know what I meant when I said no. Yeah. Because I don't need to cover this with you. I don't want to cover this with you every time.
Yeah, well, she knew because even she texted me, she didn't really even call me, which sounds weird, but she texted me and she was like, I know you don't like giving me money. It's like, well, yeah, I don't. It's not even like, but it's not you though. It's like, I just don't like giving people money, like money that I've worked for. I mean, if I'm all about giving people gifts and maybe like charity and volunteer and stuff like that, but it's like repetitive. And my parents, I get kind of like, I know I can't do much about them, but when they keep giving her money, I always tell them like, please don't do that because it's like they're digging a hole.
Well, you're giving a drunk a drink.
They're digging a hole for themselves to put somebody out of one, and it's just like.
But here's the deal. You said it, and I want to reiterate it. You can't do anything about what they're doing. And so you've spoken your piece to your parents. I would get out of their head. I'd get out of their decision-making process. And
don't let them don't let this issue have any more real estate in your brain. It's a real simple thing. I'm willing to help my sister in a way that I am really helping her, not in a way that I am giving a drunk a drink. It's very simple. And if she does not want to participate in that, then I'm unwilling to have any more conversations even about this until she is.
Okay. And I know I'm your little brother. I know this is weird. This is where we are.
Yeah. I mean, I know it feels weird because you're old enough to be my mother. I mean, she's 20 years his senior. And so that is very weird. Yeah. It's not a classic sibling relationship. And so, you just say, here's my terms, and they're all for your good.
Yeah.
I don't need the $100. I could give you $1,000, but none of this is going to help you. But I want to really help you.
And something's clearly not okay.
Yeah, she's got bigger problems than $100.
Heartbroken.
A lot bigger problems, and because they're chronic, they're ongoing. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Looking for some advice on a potential car move I got to make. I've got an aged car, about 2010, and I need to either purchase a vehicle or lease one through my business, which is what both my tax professional and my lawyer were like, hey, that would be a great tax advantage. It's a good idea for you. What should I do?
Well, I mean, it comes down to, do you want to listen to your accountant and lawyer or just 2 guys hosting a financial call-in show?
Well, I know how Dave feels about leases. I mean, that's kind of a given at this point, but I just don't want to do stupid with some zeros on the end of it and just look back at this and go, oh yeah, I should have leased the car, or oh yeah, I should have just bought it outright.
Do you have a dollar amount on the tax savings?
No, I don't.
That's one of those phrases that folks throw around. Like, you shouldn't pay your house off because you can write the house off. And people don't lay that up against the monthly mortgage payment and the tax and yada, yada they pay, the interest payments they make. This is one of those moments that I would wonder, and I'm making a purely math argument here, and we'll talk about the psychology in a second. I wonder what the actual tax savings would be versus the depreciation of the leased car.
Because that's what you're paying when you lease a car. You're prepaying the depreciation plus other fees.
You're giving a gift to the car dealership because you are paying the depreciation of the vehicle they have, so they can turn around and sell it as a inspected, like, super used car that some Yahoo just paid our depreciation for us.
An apartment on wheels, right?
Well, my further question is, why is your lawyer telling you to lease a car? Where does that come into play? I understand.
Yeah, my lawyer keeps me out of jail.
That comes into play. It's my business lawyer, and we have a relationship, and that was kind of a in passing thing.
Okay, you're like, hey, what do you think about this?
Yeah, so it wasn't like this is your legal advice. It just happens to be one of the people on my team, and I was like, maybe I'm missing something.
What's your business?
I'm a photographer.
Okay. Well, how much?
This is the greatest call I've ever had.
What is the gross revs and profits in a year?
Right around 400,000.
Is your gross revenue?
Yeah.
And what do you take home? What's on your tax return?
About a quarter of that.
Okay. So you're bringing in, let's say,
a quarter. Really? You have 300, like you have 75% expense on a photography business?
You have a big team?
No, that's just what I pay myself.
Okay. So there's more profit. Are you reinvesting that? What are you doing with all the extra profit?
At the moment, I've made a bunch of physical moves in the business, changed locations. I mean, there's just a lot of moving pieces at the moment.
Do you have any other debt?
And I'm just looking at just a house.
Okay. Are you married or single?
Married.
Okay. What does your spouse think about this?
She made that grimace face when I brought up the lease conversation because I wanted her input, of course. I think she's willing to do whatever is most advantageous for us. But at a glance, she was like, well, let's get the estimate on the car first, see if it's worth putting some money into to make it, kick the can down the road, see if we can buy a car later.
What's the necessity of having this new car?
Something safe for her and my son to get around in.
Okay, so this isn't really for your business anyways.
It's not, but the vehicle that I currently use on a daily, she would take over, and then we could lease it to the business, and I would use it for business.
Because you have to use the vehicle 50% of the time in order to even have any tax advantages from that lease.
Oh, absolutely.
So I just think you're going to make a very different decision if I just said, hey, how much cash do you have on hand to purchase a used, reliable car versus, hey, what's the sweetest, shiniest whip you can go lease at the dealership? Those are two very different conversations. And that's really the heart of this, is you're going to make a much more, just put it bluntly, a stupid decision if you lease that car versus buying one with cash that you actually have.
Okay.
Usually when people say I want to lease a car for business, they want to drive something super flashy that's going to attract clients or buy a 9,000-pound thing they can depreciate and write off on the taxes and get a G-Wagon. And it's generally stupid decisions pumped up by Instagram gurus.
So we are not, You're
not that guy.
Definitely not. No, I'm not looking for that. No,
You're a guy who wants a reliable car for his family. And we've both been there. And every time, regardless of our business and tax advantages, we just go, what is the car we can afford in cash?
And you made $400,000 last year. You've got $40,000 to buy a car, right?
I agree. Yeah,
you have the cash.
Doing that today, if I needed to, I'm not worried about that. If we needed to do that today.
So here's what I'm going to tell you as a guy who's not nearly as sophisticated as George is when it comes to the math on all this. If I own a small business, which is what you have, you're very successful at what you do. I mean, you're in the 1% of the 1% of photographers. Everybody wants to get into it, and very few people make it. And you are out of this world successful. I would still be haunted by how many outstanding liabilities I have as the only guy with the line in the water. And I don't care what the tax savings would be. I would pay it as a sole tax. That is my car, and my business can go in the toilet. The economy can tank, and my business can go from $400,000 to $35,000 in 1 year as a photographer, and nobody can come take that car from me. Whereas I just signed a 3-year lease agreement, and those payments are coming out automatic withdrawal, no matter how much money I'm bringing in. And the tax savings simply is not worth the sleep tax it would cost me.
I don't disagree with you. Maybe my question should be, do I need a new tax person and lawyer?
No, I think your tax person's giving you tax advice, and the tax accountant is going to say,
here's all the things you could take advantage of.
That's right. And because you probably sat down as a small business owner and said, all right, help me. And they're trying to cut your tax bill. Here's a way to cut your tax bill. Here's a way. And I think you look at your tax accountant and say, I don't borrow money ever, period. And if they bring it up, cool. And maybe then if they're trying to get you to do something outside of your wheelhouse or outside of your values, then yeah. But no, I don't blame, George, I don't blame the tax accountant.
I don't think they're a bad person.
Yeah.
They're doing their job. And if you want to get a second opinion, reach out to a tax pro that's Ramsey trusted. Go to RamseySolutions.com/tax and say, hey, what do you think about this? And I'm curious if you get a different opinion. But I don't think this is going to bless your life in the way you think it does. There's other ways to get deductions, better ways to skin this cat. That's my final take, John.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.